struggling a little. On the bright side, at least there's no webcam today to mess up. Oops. Here we go. All right. We are live. My silly self forgot to I forgot that I was supposed to have like I haven't moved any of my character sheet references basically to my cloud yet on Medibang. Not sure if I'm going to, but this is a particular instance in which I kind of need it. So I just need to grab the colors real quick. Just the ones for like her shirt and everything, I believe it's... I think it's this. And then this for her actual dress. Yeah. Anyways, we're back. I wanted to try out a PNG today. Oops, I'm on the wrong layer, aren't I? I wanted to try out a PNG today because, let's see, just in case there are any, like, no webcam days, I still want something, for you guys to talk to, or something that talks back to you guys, I should say. Man, I've got a lot to talk about because, what was it? Fair happened this weekend, and then what else? I just needed 2 colors out of all of that, huh? Alright. That's not too bad. Let's see, Fair happened this weekend. I got a little, like, sticker thing going on, Oh, I can't show the stickers because there's no webcam today. It's okay, I'll, like, take a picture or something, and I don't know. But yeah, of course, I'm just going to wait for people to get in here before I start yapping about that. Or if there's any lurkers, do feel free to give me a little sign that someone is listening. And yap, I will do. Oops. Anyways, I did do a lot of this in, Procreate. I was like, okay, I don't think I'm making art fast enough. I think I gotta, like, get used to doing, like, Procreate again and just accepting, when, Procreate's gonna have to be, like, or Art of the Process is gonna have to be on Procreate. I'm just not a huge fan of, how the pen looks sometimes. Like, I have a way that I want the inking to look, you know? So I'm just gonna touch up some of the outlines real quick. My voice is a bit raspy, I do apologize. I woke up early today with the intention of, like, doing some of this before stream started, and I proceeded to bed rot for, I don't know how long, probably like an hour, and then next thing you know, it's like 10:30 already, and I still have to take out my dogs. But all is well and good, for the most part. I'm just gonna smooth out some of these a little bit real quick. The stabilizer on Procreate, I swear to God, just does not work the way that I need it to. It's fine. Like, I want that to come out to a point more, you know? But, like, the taper there is weird, and then, like, the stabilizer doesn't feel like it's really stabilizing all that much. But then it does when, like, you don't want it to stabilize as much, like when you're coloring or something. It just feels so weird to use, personally. That or I'm just, like, super used to Medibang. It's probably that one. But yeah, I think I am gonna try, like, just drawing more on, like, doing more than just the sketch on Procreate now. Because the whole point of me sketching on Procreate is usually just, like, so I have something to work with. And then, you know, like, maybe I don't like the functions of the website entirely, so I'll just do the rest of it, like, on my computer when I send it over. you know, that's worked out pretty well, but I do want to get faster at making art again. So there's that 1 week where I got all of my whips finished, and it was such a great feeling. Alright. It's like warm in my room too. I'm probably gonna have to like tie up my hair at some point. It's cooled down significantly here, actually. Like last week, definitely either over 100 or very much approaching 100. Like last night or last week it was scorching, but this week, California decided to be nice and cooled things down quite a bit. So I'm very, very pleased about that. So yeah, I'm definitely sorry. I got like lost trying to like fix that one outline there real quick. I hope those posts went live. I'm assuming they did. Yeah, so they did. Okay, we're good. Because I also had to edit the post like 5 minutes before it was supposed to go up, and I was like, ah. It's okay. Let's see. What else can I talk about right now? There's honestly not too much. Like I just feel like I don't want to keep talking while there's no one here, but I guess I just should. Might as well. So yesterday was Monday. Monday I work at a different store, so I work 2 jobs. Oh, hello, Kira. Hello. Yes, it's PNG Kerr. The biblically accurate Cure, or Kerr. Yeah, we have a little guy. It's very cute, I think. I don't know if I want to lower it anymore, cause it does take up a bit of the screen, doesn't it? But I like it. I quite like it. My new profile picture. I completely forgot that. I forget how many socials I have sometimes, and apparently it's a lot. So I still gotta change it over on this side too, on Twitch. But I'll get to that whenever I actually remember to get to that. I'm just not gonna do it now for the sake of not interrupting stream. Anyways, so Monday, I do the whole, like, D&D thing at my game store, right? That's my second job. The one that's cooler than Carl's Jr. So interestingly enough, we did get a new employee there, actually, which is really cool because initially, in my head, it's like we didn't really have too much room for new employees unless they were, like, very, like niche. Like we hired one guy on to help us with like online ordering and stuff like that, and our website, and I think we also hired on another store person just to help like organize things. We ended up getting someone specifically to organize Pokemon cards, which is crazy, and like that to me says that the store is doing like really good, because that means we can afford to hire more people, and hire more people we should, because here's what happened yesterday. I was expecting my usual group, and last week my usual group got an additional party member. So I was like, okay, I'm probably gonna be DMing for like, what, 5 people? Like, that's not too bad. That's easy, right? Like, that's not terrible. Next thing you know, I'm sitting at Panera for lunch, and I'm looking at the store Discord, and it's like, hey, we wanted to like join the one-shot today. Is there anything we need to bring? It's me and my buddy, and I was like, oh, yeah, don't worry about bringing too much, I can provide sheets if anything, and I was under the impression, oh, I'm gonna get 2 more new people today. That's not too bad still, right? Well, I go there, and 2 new people walk up to the counter like, hey, we're here for D&D, and I'm like, oh, okay, are you the people who messaged on Discord? They were, in fact, not the people who messaged on Discord, and it's like, oh, okay, that's interesting. like, where are you from? This one lady, the mom, she was like, oh, like, I found you guys on Instagram, messaged about it. She has a kid who looks to be maybe, like, in his late teens, early 20s, and, so, it was like, okay, well, I don't know if those Discord people are gonna show up then. And then a third person shows up, and it's like, oh, yeah. We can absolutely include you in the workshop, no problem, no problem. And then, the two people from Discord show up, and it's like, okay. Along with the people who I'm already, like, expecting to DM for, that being this one guy and his wife. One of my regular players was out of town this week, so that one guy and his wife, the new guy, Roger, the two other guys who've been joining us, so that's 5 already, and then there's the 2 new people from Instagram, the 2 new people from Discord, that one new person, who just showed up, and then it was like, okay, that's 10 people already. That is 10 people already. Oh boy. I'm very much intimidated at this point. And then another person shows up, so that's 11, and then in the middle of the workshop, 3 more people show up. 14 people showed up for D&D yesterday. And I'm like, holy shit, where did you guys come from? Because to paint a picture, I'm gonna go with like a nice, like, I don't know what background color I want to go. I'm gonna go with like a nice, sort of like, I don't know what color I should do. But it's like, a few months ago, I could barely get people to show up for Monday night sessions, right? And now all of a sudden, completely out of nowhere, suddenly my groups are looking like 6 people, like 4 to 5 people a week, and it's like, this is great. And then now all of a sudden, 14 people are showing up to the store to play D&D, and it's like, I don't even know how I'm supposed to like DM for a group this big. Thankfully, we were able to split the group into 3. So, one of my players, his name is Ryder. He ended up taking like part of like 3 or 4 people. And then Marco, one of my other players, he's newer to DMing, but I think he did fine last time I had him like fill in for me. So he took another group of people, and I did the workshop. And the workshop was 6 people, and we had to make their sheets from scratch and everything. And it was insane. I ended up, the one shot is supposed to start at 6. I ended up starting at like past 7, and we ended like way over like way well past store close time. It was actually insane. Man, it was crazy, but they had a lot of fun though. Like, I'm like horrendously socially awkward, but if I have to like do something, I can absolutely like fake being a very charismatic and silly person. Glad you had fun and didn't lose your mind. I was losing my mind a little bit. I was under the impression that I only had 2 new people today. So I only printed 2 character sheets. So you can imagine when like a bunch of other people showed up, I didn't have anything, and I have been wrestling with the store printer for quite a while now. I might have also accidentally sent some sheets over to another small business whose printer was just on my computer because we had the wrong one registered in, so apologies to that person there who had to deal with it. Yeah, just sheer insanity yesterday, but it was fun. It was a lot of fun. It was really cool getting to watch people like learn how to like roleplay for the first time. Let's see, I kind of like the green, right? I know like this is supposed to be like pride art, but I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make the plants and flowers like the color of the flags, right? I really like this shade of green too, so I don't really like want to get rid of it. That being said, I'm gonna darken up the corners just a little bit. But man, it was crazy. So thankfully to the store owner, the boss, big man, boss man, it's my turn tomorrow as well. Hope it works out. Oh my god, good luck to you, Kira. Cause, being a dungeon master or game master is tough, so best of luck with you. Thankfully my boss had showed up. I don't know if he was just supposed to be there today or something, but he was there, and I did have my players like talk to him like, hey, if this trend continues of an obscene amount of people showing up for D&D, we, 1, might need more dungeon masters, and 2, might need to make more games throughout the week. And it seems like a lot of my coworkers agreed to, because those guys weren't on payroll, is the thing. And I don't really want them to be dungeon DMing for the store unpaid, you know? Like, even though, like, some of them might say, like, oh, it's for the fun of the game. Like, no, like, this is a business. Real quick, let me fix my grid options. No, that's not what I want. I don't know how to use this one. I mean, that works. It's weird because it's like, I don't really have like a center spot to go off of, but like, I think this is the best I could do. I think that looks good. So we're just gonna do that just to add a little bit of like stuff. Oh my god, PNG Twofer Kerr in the house. Yes! Yes, it's unfortunate that she's not animated, but I don't really know how to do that. But yeah. So hopefully we get more dungeon masters at the store, because again, yesterday was just batshit crazy with the number of people who showed up. And the craziest thing is that a lot of people showed up on Sunday too. There was 13 people, and we had to turn, the DM had to turn 3 of them, because, yeah, I want you to imagine like a 10-person party for a moment for D&D. That's insane. The most I've still DM'd for is like 6, and that's still kind of crazy. Like, I've definitely learned how to like manage it a little bit more, but it's just, Jesus Christ. Man, okay. We're gonna look up some flower symbolism here, chat. Anything above 4 is rough. Look, I'm used to like 4 to 5, because I think that's like the standard party size. 6 is pushing it. When you start getting much closer to 10 is when it starts to get a little scary. It was just insane. Now, I would have it so that there's multiple sessions running in like one day, so like you could choose which party you want to go to that day. But the thing with that is, there's 1 dungeon in the store, and the rest we would have to use like the tables outside. And the thing is that the store does get busy, so it is noisier outside, so we can't really be doing that. Yeah, 4 to 5 is decent. When you run out of fingers to count them, then you can basically run 2 tables. Basically, yeah. The campaign that I did yesterday for my players, that was real quick, symbolizing love. What if I put gay love? Nah, we'll just put love. But anyways, it was just insane because a lot of people showed up. 14 people showed up to play D&D, and me and 2 other players who had some dungeon mastering experience had to split everyone up, because there was no way it was gonna work out like that. Okay, but the one that I ran yesterday, basically there's this desert town whose water supply is like mega contaminated, and like, yeah, there's a lot of druids who can do like the whole purifying ritual, but like the town's like pretty big and people need like a lot of water, so there was no way they were going to be able to keep that up. And you had to go to this underground spring to figure out what was wrong. Turns out there was just a bunch of people like mining crystals off of like these giant lithoid crabs and then tossing their bodies into the water, causing it to rot. And the crabs, defending their home, had accidentally broken a pipe. So that was the whole thing there. Next one shot, I think it'd be really funny if there was just like a haunted house in a fantasy world. And I think in a fantasy world, everyone just accepts that ghosts are a real thing, right? But imagine there's like that one guy who's just like, no, ghosts aren't real. Like, huh? Alright. I think okay, so we're gonna choose some flowers here. I think I like the iris because it's blue, so we can get that for like the bisexual pride flag. And then I know Strelitzia is an orange flower, and I personally like that because I think it's a great symbol for our area. I think I had one even like sketched out here. But we're gonna do our best, not necessarily to organize the flag into its correct colors, because I think that will make me lose my mind if I tried that. There's a black and white Strelitzia. That's crazy. I like this picture. And then, so we're gonna go with an iris. And then, are there any, do you guys think mushrooms carry any symbolism? Mushrooms that, I don't think people usually do this. I love this, top comment on Reddit. There was one. There was one that I can't find it because I'm like trying to like skim too quickly, but it was just like, well, mushrooms do kind of look something fertility related. Yeah, that's certainly a thing. Okay, well I can't really do it with the mushrooms, it seems, but I can just look up a bunch of different mushrooms. I think we definitely just need to have like the iconic Amanita. Mushrooms, not really, but hey, I can be proven wrong. I don't think they do either. I think mushrooms very much symbolize. Somebody put googly eyes on this one. Oh boy. I think we definitely need like the typical Amanita, right? And then I'm not gonna lie, I don't know too much beyond that one. There's like, see, here's the thing about mushrooms, like, and flowers, right? Flowers, they'll be like, oh, this is the lily, this is the rose, this is the gardenia, this is the magnolia, and then you get to mushrooms like, this is the Amanita, and this is the beefsteak, and this is the witch's butter, and this is the, like, they have the silliest names. Anyways, I need to actually start painting these flowers, huh? So, let's see. Well, I'll put, like, each flower type in their own folder. This is gonna be another, like, very paint-heavy stream. Let's see. The stem's a little bluish green in that one, so I'm gonna, like, skew it that way a bit. Then I forgot this is on the background, huh? Okay, hang on. Hang on, I'm stupid. And we put folder 11 in there. There we go, okay. I'm like, why isn't it going over the thing? Maybe it's because I, forgot to organize things properly. Just maybe. And then they have like these like bigger leaves. You should, but this would not be a curse room without getting distracted or not going on a tangent. Yeah. You guys, I need to put like a channel point redeem, like you guys can redeem like 10 points to get me back on track or something. Or the opposite, 10 points to put me on another tangent. Because that would be funny, I think. Okay, I've drawn this once before, but it's a little like weird on how to draw it. So it's like this bluish kind of like thing that goes outward like that. Something like that, I think. Right? And then, because it doesn't go down that far, hang on. This is tough. Channel points to give you a topic to rant about. Honestly, bet. I will do that. Maybe for Thursday. Something interesting that I keep seeing pop up on YouTube is that Silksong is for sure going to come out summer 2025. And so, like, in the middle of me trying to choose the game for next stream, I'm like, oh, I just played Hollow Knight. It'd be so good if I played Silksong when it comes out. But I just don't know if it's, like, actually going to come out or anything. This is, like, not the right shade of blue. It's like, okay, so it's more like, it's like, okay, it's thin, too thin, still too thin. There we go. Channel points and give me a topic to rant about would be hilarious. Oh yeah, oh, it will come out this summer. Totally, pinky promise and everything. Imagine though, just like Silksong tomorrow, like the Deltarune Chapter 3 memes that I kept seeing. Okay, they're kind of like this. I'm trying to like get the shape down. And basically they have like this little like bud that comes out. Or not really like a bud, but like it's a shape that comes out, and then there's another bit of that shape down there. So it creates kind of like a thing. Anyways, this last weekend was picnic at the park here in the city. They do this every summer, and it starts at 2 o'clock, so right away, like, I'm, like, warning everyone, like, everyone's gonna come from the fair, and they're gonna be like, oh, like, before we go to the fair, because the fair food's expensive, what if we just ate somewhere else real quick before we go? And lo and behold, rest in peace, all the poor, like, fast food restaurants who had to deal with that lunch rush, us included. Thankfully, it wasn't too bad. It was just, like, me and Johnny had to take our halves, because we ended up working the same shift. We had to take our halves at some point, which did kind of make things a little bit tougher, but it did work out. One person who was supposed to work, this last weekend, our mutual friend who also works at the store with us, she got the stomach flu, so she couldn't make it, so we were just like, uh-oh. But it worked out. It worked out. It wasn't all that bad, thankfully, and finally it did actually slow down once everyone was actually at the fair, which means the last thing the store had to worry about was late night, but at that point, me and Johnny were not working late night anyways. So it was fine. It thankfully did work out, which was definitely a bit concerning. There was this one customer, though, maybe one of the nicest customers I've ever met. Only had positive things to say about our location, which is really funny considering that's not usually how that goes. So he was like, yeah, you guys never mess up orders. We kind of always mess up orders because we're always, like, rushing. And, like, you guys always serve the food hot and fresh. Sometimes some of the shift leaders will just force people to, like, sell cold food, just to get the car out of the drive-thru faster. We're not supposed to be doing that, but, like, there's this one shift leader who does that. And then, oh shoot, I'm going on the wrong layer again. But yeah, and then as soon as, like, and I'm like, yeah, if you want to leave us, like, a good review, you can even get, like, a free cheesecake or chocolate cake if you, like, do that. He did not do the review, but as soon as, like, I handed him his food, turns out we forgot, I think what it was that, he ordered a Famous Star, but with no cheese. And, one of the cooks ended up putting cheese on that burger, and it was like, come on, guys, I just finished complimenting you. I'm like, I know, I'm so sorry, and we were, like, offering, like, free dessert and everything. Oh, it was bad. It was so funny, though, but it was bad. He wasn't too upset, though, because it seemed like, oh, well, this is the first time it's happened. He must not have been there in, like, the past, like, 3 years. But yeah, it was just really funny. Did not get him to do a review on the spot, but perhaps he did it later. Sweet summer child, basically. Just like, oh, you poor, sweet, innocent soul. You have no idea. Okay, so we have the basic shape for our Strelitzia now. It's I forgot I was supposed to be making a TikTok out of this. It's okay. We're gonna move on to rendering now. Be prepared, chat. There's gonna be like you thought there was a lot of layers beforehand. This is about to get like messy. Anyways, we're on the blue right now, so just have that go down. I think I will just be doing the acrylic because this is gonna be like very like in front of them, right? But man, once again, I'm just glad Saturday went smooth, and then I didn't end up working Sunday, but Johnny did. It was busy for a bit, but then it slowed down, you know, because again, people are just going to the fast food restaurants to get food real quick because fair food is hella expensive. But I'm sure late night was not amused in the slightest. I'm gonna have to ask my coworker about that. Speaking of work shenanigans, the new schedule for work did drop like the other day, and I'm like freaking out because it's like, okay, I noticed that a bunch of hours got cut around the board, so I'm like, okay, well, you know, it's like summer, it's our slow period, yada yada, that's like kind of to be expected. But then I'm looking more closely at like the schedule, and it's just like, okay, hold up. Why is there no one else but like me and my manager scheduled for Thursday morning? Because the way this works, right, is generally we have people come in every 2 hours so that whoever comes in can cover the break for one of the other employees at the store, right? And that's usually how it goes, and it runs very smoothly that way. So one of the managers who's opening on Thursday is going home at 9. I get there at 8. My general manager gets there at 9. And then until 12 o'clock, there is no one. But the thing is that we still have our 10 o'clock rush, and we still have our lunch rush. I'm gonna have to take my half during the lunch rush. And it's just like, where is everyone? Like, huh? I'm like bringing this up to her because me and Johnny, once again, we looked at the schedule because we were like, oh, we're working together on Wednesday. That's kind of rare. Who else is working on Wednesday? There's like 10 people in the morning on Wednesday. Like I said, it's a slow period, right? So I understand we don't need that many people. At most, we need like 5 in the store during the daytime, right? 4 or 5. But on Thursday, there's like 3 cooks coming in, and then on Wednesday, there's like a million people in the front and the back, and it's just like, what is happening? Like, what did you do? According to her, Wednesday is like that because, she has like a meeting to go to or something, and she's not gonna be there at the store at all. And I'm like, okay, you've been not at the store before, and we've never needed like we've never needed like the full staff. It's just like, what the hell? So I don't know what's going on there. But it is, that is how the store is like shaping up to be at the moment. Oops, that, I did not mean to take a picture. I'm gonna try and like record for the TikTok again. Anna Pantsu released a cover for The Dancing and the Dreaming, and it feels, something about that cover tickles my brain for these two. For The Dancing and the Dreaming is also just an insanely good song too. Like, such a, like, it's so serene and like raw and like actually very what are the words that I'm looking for? It's very sweet and genuine, I think. And it is definitely like one of my favorite songs, just to draw a little couple with. I definitely do be using that song a lot, or like referencing it. But it's a good song, and to be fair, every time I use it, I do try to use like a different like variation or cover of it. Let's see. I'm gonna do it like this. make this a bit more red, actually. And there are some, like, patterns and colorations on the thing, so I'm gonna have to try and, like, get that as well. But yeah. I'm, like, losing my mind. I will say, on Friday, which is really cool, I'm gonna be working night shift, which is great. I haven't worked night shift in so long. And, because me and another cook ended up switching, so I'll be 4 to 10 that day, and I do not mind that one bit. What else? What else? To get this petal shape in. That's for sure. Yeah, I just miss working night shift, because, like, a lot of, like, that's where a lot of, like, that's where I started working when I started working at the store. They moved me to day shift because I was like, no, you're too good for night shift. You're coming with us in the daytime. I'm like, no, but I love night shift so much. The only thing is that even I'm 4 to 10 on Friday, but I'm gonna be 9 to 5 the next day. I'm like, can I please just come in like an hour later? Because usually I have to work on my stuff at night, and that's when I get like most things done, because it's like way less distraction and everything. Speaking of getting things done, I don't have my webcam on right now, but the stickers, there's been a change in plan with the stickers. Initially, I was gonna do, like, 20 sticker sheets, so 10 of the first page, 10 of the other page, but turns out my brain is smooth, and the website was just a little bit too confusing on how I was going to get the stickers onto the thing. I didn't really know what to do, so, and also it was, like, super pricey. Like, if I ended up, like, doing, like, all the sticker sheets that I wanted to buy, that would have been, like, $74, and I'm honestly probably gonna be selling, the individual stickers at, like, $1 each. So, like, yeah. The only thing is that I do want to get them, like, laminated or glossy somehow, just because, I can't get that kind of, like, glossy look here at home. I think it's either the printer or the ink, or maybe it's both. So it's like, it's very matte and very not water resistant at all. So I do want to try and figure out a lamination thing, but first I had to print them all out and cut them all out. So yesterday, after I got home from lunch, I just hunkered down in my room with this new sticker press that I have, and so I got through the Druids, at least. I got 6 of those, but I'm probably only gonna be selling 5, because I do want to keep, like, one, like, set for myself. And, so there was all of that. Worked for quite a while on that before I had to go into the store. And then, but man, it sucks, because I still have to hand cut them out, to get, like, a border on them. And I gotta do that twice, because the way that this works is that it looks like it has, like, a bunch of, like, either parchment or wax paper. And I don't know how it gets the adhesive on there, but it does. So I gotta cut, so that means I have to trim that out. And it's just like, it takes so long. It takes so long to cut them out by hand, and I'm just like, this sucks. I don't have a Cricut at home. I don't even know how to use it, and I don't even know which model I'm supposed to buy, to be honest. So it's just a whole thing. But, starting next week, I probably will slow down on art again, just to make sure I get all of this out, like, as soon as possible, because I don't know if signups for Art Walk is going on right now. But if it is, it's like, oh boy. I need to hurry. Because I already put in a request off for July 3rd. Maybe Thursday it'll be like a sticker cutting stream. We'll cut stickers on camera and do a little yap. That might be fun. And, like, every so often I'll just have to, like, get up and, like, print, or maybe what I should do actually is I'll just, like, print everything prior. Completely, like, steal the ink. My mom said it's actually okay if I just abuse the heck out of the printer because nobody else seems to be printing all that much anyways. Like it's stopped seeing a lot of use, so I basically get free reign of the printer, which is hilarious. It's not total and complete free reign, but you guys know what I mean. But yeah, that's gonna be a whole thing too, and it's just like, man. I gotta hurry on that. I'm almost tempted to just ask for less hours at work so I can like focus on this, but I'm probably not going to. Because I actually have to pay for vehicle registry. Rip you to your printer in advance. I mean, I don't mind. Like, as long as it's, like, doing the thing that I need it to do, it's fine. This is the part of the stream where I say, I don't actually know how to paint flowers all that well. There's a lot of, like, separate parts going on here. And it's like, I'm trying to, like, put in the distinction for, like, all of that, but it's kind of tough. I think it's working out alright, though. But, man, the hardest part is, like, all the cutting and trimming. Like, that is the thing. And the other thing, too, is that this uses so much paper, like, on its own. Like, the stickers print at, like, a decent size, like, a pretty reasonable size, right? But the thing is that there's, like, a whole strip, like, a whole solid, like, 2 inches that just don't get used, per thing, so I'm just like, how do I, like, cut down on that waste? Because that's kind of a lot. And then it also said that there's, like, supposed to be, like, a bar somewhere that lets me, oh, it scans for, there's a scan here for refills, perfect, because I'm definitely gonna need that. It said something about, like, sharp edge and points, but, it doesn't actually seem to, like, trim, when I tried, so I don't know what that's about. Because, like, yeah, there's, like, a thing here, but it doesn't really, like, come off all that well. It's better if I just, like, snip it with scissors. But it gets the job done, and this is definitely a little bit cheaper than spending $74 on custom sticker sheets. It's just unfortunate. Because I wanted the sheets, right? Because in my head, like, yeah, it's probably easier to sell individual stickers. But I figured, like, since the stickers are all part of, like, a theme, and the theme being Dungeons and Dragons classes, maybe people want more than one. Maybe they have, like, ones that they want to share, like, with their friends and stuff like that. So I thought the sheet would be nicer, and then I could even put, like, if you buy both sheets, you get a little discount or something. Like, you get the second sheet for, like, 50% off or whatever. But no, it was, yeah, $74 is rough. And, like, here's the best part. I tried to see if I could do this, like, okay, can I just, I tried to see, like, okay, well, can I just, like, order the individual stickers online? And then Vogue Race, the site that I used for my keychains, they were like, yeah, it's gonna be, like, you're gonna pay, like, $5 a sticker, and for each sticker, we're gonna send you the minimum of, like, 64. And I'm like, 64 stickers. And I'm like, typing in their little bar, like, can I just order, like, 5? And they're like, nope, 64 stickers. Like, okay, 60, I understand some small businesses do end up selling a lot of stickers, but, I'm not, look, 60, what's 64 times 12? Let's just think about that real quick. That's my clock. That's what, 64 times 12, right? Because it would have been, like, minimum 64 per sticker, and then there's 12 different stickers. That's 768 stickers. $7.44 is close. 768. Yeah. You were very close. That is a lot of stickers! I will never be able to sell that many stickers. And as much as I would be like, hey, game store, do you guys want to, like, sell these D&D stickers I made? That's still a lot of stickers. And again, they were like $5 each, and I'm like, I'm not doing this. Let me just do it myself at this point. At some point, I think I should get a Cricut, because that is going to allow me to do the thing that I want to do, which is just, like, actual, like, sheets rather than, like, Kiss Cut stickers or the individual ones, but, alas, here we are. Here we are. A Cricut is $200, and well, I can technically afford it, but I also have no idea how to use it, so that's where it's at. I think Thursday will just be a sticker trimming stream. We'll get ready for Art Walk together. The other thing that I want to do for Art Walk, that I just remembered, that is more stickers than people ordering Carl's Jr. during a day. Oh no, you'd be surprised. On Friday, because the whole Picnic at the Park thing actually ran from the 20th to the 22nd, according to Johnny, late night got so busy, they made $1,400, which is really busy for late night, if you didn't know. It was just like, man. We're probably not gonna get busy again for July 4th. I'm looking forward to July 4th, because I'm probably gonna be working that day. Which means I get time and a half. Normally I'd care more about spending time with the family on holidays, but, the family, as of recently, has not been, like, super keen on that. Particularly July 4th, I think, just because, for one, the fireworks scare our dogs, and then two, it feels like a tumultuous time to be celebrating 4th of July. Not to get too political there, but, it is certainly a choice. Christmas is another one, just because our mom ends up, like, usually working as well. But, like, also the time and a half is very tempting. Even if I end up working, like, only, like, 3 hours on 4th of July, it's, like, I'm not too, beat up about it. Like, that's still time and a half for 3 hours. That's still pretty good. Alright. Can you imagine that? This is one flower. This is one group of plants out of who knows how many else that I'm drawing in. I drew in some ferns, but I think the flowers are going to be a lot more fun. The flowers and the mushrooms. So, we're going to be here for a while. Let me just make some more definition there. I think I am going to be doing some on-the-go anatomy studies in that tiny sketchbook of mine. I'm not going to show you guys yet because I have, like, a dumb caption for it. But while I was out for lunch, I didn't mean to stay out so long because I didn't want to get back home soon and start on the stickers because I hadn't started at that point yet. But I was, like, really deep into it. I was, like, looking at this thing, and I was, like, looking at the rib cage, and I was like, man, there's, like, a whole bunch of stuff here. So I basically stayed at Panera until I finished it, which was nice, because I got to, like, finish my coffee there, didn't have to take any cups home, and, like, fill up our trash cans with it. So it worked out, but it's just like, man, that took a good while. I like how it came out, though. I would love to do, like, an ink stream one day, just, like, have the camera pointed at the paper and you guys get to watch me do, like, the whole dip pen ink and hatching and ink wash and everything. I think that would be very, very, like, fun, be, like, a little different, but it'd be fun, is the point, that I'm trying to make here. I like... My favorite thing, literally my favorite thing about, analog inking, though, is, I see. I put that on the wrong layer. There we go. Clipping, and now we can work on this. So I did end up separating those parts. Perfect. My favorite thing about ink is that there's honestly not too much, like, color variation. Like, you know how, like, with pencils, like, it's really pressure sensitive. Like, you can actually, accomplish, like, a very, very, very smooth gradient with, pencil. With ink, and specifically, not ballpoint pens and stuff, because ballpoint pens are a little bit more forgiving, but I'm talking, like, actual, like, like really like dark ink. There's not too much color variation there, so it's really hard to achieve like certain effects. Which is why hatching is like so important to just like ink only pieces, because that's gonna be how you're gonna get your shadows in, basically. And now you can apply like less pressure to get something a little bit less opaque, but it's not by much. And I think I think for the little rib cage study I did yesterday, I did a good job at getting it to have like a little like more depth to it and everything. I think it looks pretty good. I ended up showing my mom, and my mom is a nurse, right? So she started like counting it, like how many ribs are on this thing. I'm like, I promise it's accurate. I was looking at a picture. And I showed her the heart, and she's like, okay, let me check and make sure there's 4 chambers on here. I'm like, no! Because I like drawing anatomy. It's just the anatomy that I like drawing ends up being internal organs, which, yes, it's an anatomy study, but no, it's not going to help me draw people better. Well, Johnny did recommend I do that, so I will be attempting that, I guess. Because as much as I would do figure drawing, I'm not sure where I'm going to find people to be like, hey, could you, like, strip down bare skin and everything and just pose while I draw you for a moment? I don't think I'm going to be able to find anyone to do that. So I have the next best thing, which is drawing, I guess, musculature and bones, and trying to figure out how all of that is going to, like, compute in my head, basically. That's a cute snake earring. It is a very cute snake earring, yeah. The snake earring is particularly important to, and no, I'm not volunteering, drop. Understandable. Yeah, no, the whole thing with, the whole thing with, the anatomy is like, I understand that it's like important, but it's just part of me is a little confused because I feel like I'm gonna like do it and I'm just not gonna understand how it translates. I'll get really good at drawing like realistic body parts, but I'm not gonna understand how to like use it. I don't know, maybe I'll just do like pose studies or something. But it was fun. I love ink a lot. The Gore cornucopia, the Organicopia, I think that was some of my best ink work to date. And honestly, I feel particularly proud of it because it's still not like I'm like super like good at ink, right? Like I'm still very much a beginner. Still doing it like all like self-taught and everything, and like watching tutorials. Like they're not even tutorials, they're like tips online. I'm like, ah, now I know what I'm doing. No, I don't. But yeah, it's a whole thing, and it's very silly. Let's see. Let's get the highlights onto this blue bit right here. Yeah. Hi. It is warm in my room. I should turn on the AC, but it's not too bad yet. A new Minecraft update came out. I'm very tempted to play it because it looks very fun. The whole like writing guests thing. It looks fun. I want to get Clive and Johnny to play, but Clive's very like Left 4 Dead brained right now. Like he really wants to play. We played Sunday night because he really wanted to. And it was just funny because the whole time he's like taking it so seriously, like, okay guys, you gotta follow me and you gotta let me do this one thing. Meanwhile, I'm just here like, Clive, it's a point and click shooter game. You point at the enemy with your cursor and you click to shoot. It's not that complicated. And meanwhile, Johnny's like, I'm so sorry, Nick. Like I keep shooting this guy and he's like saved me so many times. He's my son. Or something like that. He just keeps making jokes like that, and the whole time, Clive's just like, ah! As you can see, I take a very, like, funny approach to, how I view my shooter games. If you think about it, it's, like, true. He's like, Kyra, let me deal with the witch, okay? And I'm like, no, you don't need to deal with the witch, Clive. Look, if you just take the stupid gun and you shoot it at the head. I ended up missing. But it was really funny. Like, he takes things a little bit too seriously sometimes, and I'm just there like, haha, this is funny. Don't let me forget we got patterns to include on these too. We'll do it like that, actually. See if I could like create like a better sense of depth, like just kind of it look like that's kind of like under and then kinda. If you squint. I don't know if we would play on stream the Left 4 Dead thing, but it is funny. Johnny and Clive played again last night. I came up here to like finish up like the last bit of my self-portrait, and also I was very sleepy. Went to bed. I need a day where I can sleep like 12 hours. That would be like the most amazing thing to have happened to me. Like I'm a very sleepy person sometimes. I'd be not falling asleep at work, but I'll be like it'll be like so slow, and I'll be like, I'm so bored. Somebody please order 20 double westerns. Oops. It just sucks when work is slow, personally. Like, even though it's like nice because it's like you get to relax a little bit, it's only like you only ever want to relax for a little bit. The tough thing about it would be chaos. So it is cinema. True. It took us like 2 tries to beat the last dead center part of the campaign. Cause what was it? Our first run we ended up like dying because we got like really swarmed by zombies, and like we didn't have enough medkits to last. And I think at that point my character, I had to get like revived like so many times that my character was just bleeding out even though they were already standing. And then what was I gonna say? And then our second attempt, we ended up like having to just restart because our plan was we're just gonna put all the gas cans like right there in front of the car, and we'll just like spam fill them, right? Well, another horde of zombies like stormed in, and like stray bullets just ended up hitting the gas cans, and they all set fire. And we were like, that's a reset. That's a reset right there. So we just killed each other, and like we tried it a 3rd time, I think. So it took us like 3 tries to get through that, which was funny. I want to add like one more thing here. There's like these little like splotches of red, so I'm just going to... like on some of the petals, real quick. We'll go ahead and like record a little video of me doing this too. Just like... here we go. Something like that. But it was fun. It was fun. Honestly, that video wasn't that good. I'm not sure if I'm going to end up using it. Okay, the last thing for the Strelitzias, because we still got like a bunch of them to go through. I think we'll go flower, mushroom, and then we'll just keep alternating until we get like a nice spread on the screen, right? So, oops. And I'm gonna try and get it so that it matches, like, the bi flag colors and the lesbian flag colors. So we got orange from the Strelitzias, right? We need some whites in there, so we'll probably... Let's see, we might do, like, a white... Like, a very simple, like, round white mushroom. So that's our Strelitzias. Let's... I'm gonna label this so I don't lose it. I think they're more commonly called Bird of Paradise, but I always end up calling them Strelitzia because that's the name of, like, Aerie and Astarion's kid in the Baldur's Gate 3 universe, so it's okay. Let's see, what types of mushrooms are there? Let's see. I do have a foraging book, but I feel like that would be kind of a lot for me to bring out. Mushroom... Oh, you know, I like this. The big oyster mushrooms, actually. Yeah, let's look at those. Have you guys seen those videos of people, like, growing oyster mushrooms out of books? Actually insane. Oh, I like this one where they're, like, on the tree and you can, like, see the gills underneath. I like this one a lot. Okay. We'll go with this one. Let's see, but where am I gonna put them? See, they're kind of like an off-white, so we'll go to orange. They're a little bit, they skew a little bit more red, and like the color is like right about here, I think, and then like we'll just like move it around for like details and stuff when we get to rendering. So oops. So let's go ahead and paint those in. I think we'll record this one too. I think, man, I still love the Animal Crossing like New Leaf soundtrack so much. It's kind of like this, like the shape. That is kind of creating a tangent there in the That is kind of creating a tangent there in the ear. Let me just cover that a bit. This is all one shape, and we're just gonna go for it. Actually, go like another like cluster of oyster mushrooms down there. I really want to try like growing the oyster mushrooms at home one day. I just don't think my parents will appreciate it that much. So let's see. I'm gonna use this color, and I'm gonna go ahead and use a watercolor brush to get the thing. Right, and then they'll have like the kind of like this, right? Then there's gonna be another mushroom right here. You guys see the vision yet? Neil is still teasing me about the coworker that I find cute. I'm like, you should go on a date sometime. Like, ask to like see like a movie, and I'm like, I'm not even sure what's in theaters right now. That's a lie. I know there's like the live action How to Train Your Dragon. I don't actually know how good that one is. Let's see. I'm not actually liking how those look. I'm gonna try putting a small stabilizer on it. We're not gonna go the full 40. Just erase those real quick. I'm not actually sure how good the new How to Train Your Dragon is. I just know that I did really love the original, like, a lot. Like, that was like a huge childhood movie of me and Johnny's. Um, so, it. I feel like I've been hearing like some good things, but on the other hand, I feel like I feel like some people are like not too pleased with it, so I'm not sure really what to think. Should actually, he's come in like way more like to the center, so like it's gonna be like very. It's gonna be very like clustered like that. That's what we want, and then. These little mushroom gills. Then I gotta be careful right here because I gotta make a lot of that in shadow so that it doesn't end up like eating that. Oh, so you like a boy? Yeah, well, let me think about how I like a person. We'll put it that way. But yeah, but actually, speaking of that coworker, it was really funny because Johnny sent me the new schedule like Friday night or something like that, right? And I was like, oh yeah, let me just send this to like my friends at the store real quick. So they don't have to like worry about getting it from like someone else or like at a later time, right? And they're like, bro, my hours got cut, what the hell? And I'm like, I know, I don't even have anyone for Thursday, so I'm like scrambling, like, oh god, what's gonna happen, right? And then they go, I wonder if it's because of what happened with my drawer on later. And it's like, oh yeah, you left early, you didn't even know. I'm like, what happened with your drawer? So at the end of a frontline worker's shift, the drawer, the cash register drawer that they were assigned gets counted, and then we drop the money. So here's the thing: we don't really drop coins or change. We drop the cash only. So the drawers are always like either like a few cents over or a few cents short, and that's normal, right? You know what isn't normal? Being $100 over. So I'm like, how did that happen? Right? We couldn't figure it out at all, because according to Johnny, who I think was the shift leader, who would have counted them out, the safe was fine. The safe was fine, and everything was fine. So it's like, huh? Yeah, how? So, okay, and then here's the thing. Here's how this works as well. The only way that drawer could have been $100 over is if, like, you know, there's only a few ways, I should say, that $100 gets put into a register. That usually being, somebody pays with a $100 bill. And that's all fine and dandy, right? You know, there have been times where they forgot to charge a customer, but that's usually when it's card. If you're handed, like, a physical bill, you actually have to punch in the number 100, to, like, do the charge, is the thing. So there's no way you can forget that. Because also, the register just doesn't open if it knows, like, you're not putting cash in there. And, like, regular employees can't even open the cash drawer by themselves. So I'm, like, sitting there, like, trying to figure it out, like, how? The only thing that I could think of was if somebody paid in 100 and you didn't have change for it and they got change from the other registers, maybe they miscounted and put too much in there. But even then, they told me, like, well, yeah, but I gave them the majority of the change that I got, so it's like, okay, there's still no way that counts for, like, $100. So I don't know. And they never figured it out. Like, we never figured out what went on with that drawer. And it's just like, huh? Huh? How? I still don't know how. Like, if I try to think about it again, right? There's no way you forget to charge for physical money, because you have to, you have to punch it in so you can put the thing in there and then count the change out. And since the person, according to them, the last person who paid with the $100 bill was owed like 89 something, so I guess it was like a small order, right? It was like a small order of whatever. And so that means $89 should have left that register. But like, you know, you don't just casually forget to like hand out change, I think. Because, you know, I think a customer would notice like a substantial amount of like money missing from their wallet. So you don't really forget that either, like logically. And then the only thing is once again, the safe must have been counted wrong somehow, somewhere. Which is normal. When I was training to be a shift leader, not doing that anymore because, oh boy, that was annoying. Because I used to have to take like multiple like attempts to count the safe, because if it doesn't come out to the 1400, it's like, okay, well, I gotta double check now. Did I like miscount somewhere? Or maybe I did count it right the first time, but then another shift leader comes in, counts the safe, and I'm like, Kyra, hey, we're like $20 short, and they're like, we are? I didn't count that. And it does happen with Johnny too, because, you know, $1,400 is a lot to count, even if it is like a lot of big bills, right? So it's like, I just don't know. I don't know. And we still haven't figured it out. But I guess to be fair too, I have had, there was this one time, I was at the store, and we're counting out my drawer. I'm like 60 something dollars over. And it's like, okay. So maybe when things got moved around, maybe it just ended up in another register? So I think we did count one register. One register. That is so many build your own bags. Stop. That is true. I have another thing about the late night build your own bags actually to talk about when I finish up this story. So it's like, okay, well, maybe it's just in another register, right? Like, maybe it's not actually, like, low or over or that much over, right? We count out the rest of the registers. Only one register was $30 short. So somehow, somehow, there was just a magical $30 in my register still. Not as extreme as 100, but still very confusing nonetheless. So I don't know. I really, really don't know what to make of that. But you know what? It'd be like that sometimes. Sometimes money just spawns in. And you just have to live with it. Anyways, how we feeling about this mushroomy texture right now? I'm going with a watercolor just to like make it look more smooth. I think mushrooms have like a really smooth looking surface on them. You know? Like, look at that with and without the rendering. Isn't that so cool? Right, and the build your own bags. Our particular Carl's Jr. location is no stranger to the number of people trying to abuse our system to get free food. You know, what are you gonna do? And, a good job on the texture. Thank you. And the crazy thing about that is, you know, it happens quite a bit. And there's just been this one, like, I don't know if they're a couple of, or if they're just friends, or maybe it's a group of friends, I don't know. But they just, like, come in and, like, did Johnny watch this happen, right? He went to go get Carl's Jr. Friday night, or Saturday night for dinner, and, he watched these two ladies, throw away their Carl's Jr. bag in the store, and they went, hey, you forgot my, they go up to the counter like, hey, we were just, like, in the drive-thru, and we just got home, and you missed out on our food. And the other shift leader who was like working that shift was just like he checked the cameras, watched them throw it away, And then in the manager group chat was just like, do not let these people, like, keep doing this. Like, he had their faces and everything. So funny. Let's see, I'm gonna, like, add a little bit more definition down there. Let's see, I don't remember if I already recorded, like, a mushroom thing, but it doesn't hurt to just keep, like, recording, like, clips and stuff and everything, because, at some point I'm gonna have to use these, and yeah. That's a very mushroomy looking shape right there. Maybe not perfect, but it is mushroomy. So I've also been thinking about, like, what my next ink piece is going to be, because I'm honestly not too sure. Because, like, I know when it comes to, like, more traditional stuff, I do like to draw, like, really weird, like kind of morbid things. Or just surreal, absurd stuff. That's how I like to describe my, my work. So I'm trying to figure out, like, what I want to do next. I also need to figure out what to do with the actual organ cornucopia, the physical one that I used for live reference, because it's been sitting here on my desk, and not that it's not bad, definitely not like expertly definitely no semblance of expert craftsmanship here, but it's definitely like a conversation starter piece, right? But the thing is that my desk is a mess, and I don't think I have room for this, so I'm, like, debating on, should I just give this to one of my friends at the store? Just be like, hey, do you want this? It's not particularly well made or anything, nor did I make this for you, but I don't know what to do with it, and it's taking up space in my desk. Does anyone want this? So, I don't know. I don't know yet. But we'll see. I don't know. I'm sure I can probably get one of my friends to take it off my hands, because once again, I just don't know what I'm gonna do with it. And we're gonna just add in, like, some lumpiness to it. That's what these are, like, the little lumps, right? I would love to go foraging one day, but there's two things stopping me from foraging. One is that I live in the suburbs, and two, you have to really trust, like, you really, like, foraging is one of those hobbies where you really gotta know, like, what you're picking up, before you start eating it, because, you know, so lots of things in life don't want to be eaten, and they've come up with hilarious ways to ensure that. By which I mean poison. They're like poisonous. So there's that. But again, I live in the suburbs, so it's not really like I can go foraging anywhere, really. I really, really want to, because it sounds fun. Even just to, like, collect stuff. Yeah, I've not eaten any mushroom from the suburbs, you might not like the result. That, and I'm pretty sure, like, a lot of the mushrooms here, that, you know, like, specifically grow in the suburbs, what I've been told is that they're from dog pee. So, like, probably just dirty in general. Probably can't eat that. There's some, though, they look so edible. And it's just like, I just want to take it home and be like, please. Please. Obviously I don't, because, I think I would get yelled at for that. I would get yelled at for, like, a number of things I do. You know, my mom still has no idea that I have a dead lizard in my closet. It's... I've been like observing it like every so often just to see like if there's been like any like changes to it, see if it's like actually like decomposing still. I think it's gotten a little bit yellow like on its underbelly, but other than that, still holding up pretty well for isopropyl, which the internet very much made clear to me. Like, this is the shittiest kind of rubbing. You have a what now? The dead lizard in my closet. I forget if I can show it on stream or not. I don't think I showed it last time. But I found a dead lizard one day, and I was like, I'm going to try and preserve it, and if preserving it doesn't go well, I will be collecting its bones. So I tried to look up how to preserve wet specimens. And the internet told me, the internet made it very clear, like, isopropyl is the last rubbing alcohol that you want to use. Like, it super sucks, right? It's like the worst one, mid and everything. And I'm like, well, I can't literally find anything else. And I found something else on like taxidermy and everything. Like, you do not, it was a whole, like, the whole blog was dedicated to the point, like, you can't just take an animal, dump it in some rubbing alcohol and call it preserved. And I'm like, I'm willing to believe that. Random internet user, go ahead and let me know what I need. And they're like, okay, so what you want to do is that you actually want to take like ethanol, and then you want to that is one way to get a like reference. I'm not using it for reference. I just felt bad for it, and I was like, I'm just gonna like take it with me. And it was, so the blog was like, oh, you wanna put you wanna use ethanol actually. I'm like, okay, ethanol doesn't sound too hard to get my hands on. And then it was like, and then you don't actually just want to like dump it in ethanol either. Like, you gotta inject it with needles. And I'm like, there's no way I'm getting syringes. Cause like, on one hand I could ask my mom, but on the other hand, if I start asking my mom like, hey, can you give me some syringes from the hospital? She's going to start asking questions. And the questions will not be good. She'll be like, Kyra, are you getting into drugs? And I'm like, no. So what do you need it for? There's no good answer from, in her point of view. Like, there's no good answer if I start asking for needles. So, I've done this all in secret. She has no idea that I have that, and clearly you didn't either. It did so yeah, that was a whole thing. But it's doing well so far. I haven't noticed like anything like slopping off the body just yet. I will say it looks like some inner tissue did get like pulled out, so there's like some stuff coming out of its nose. Definitely not a pretty sight, but yeah, don't ask her. That's basically inviting her to question everything. Yeah, that's of the things that I could have asked my mom, that is somehow worse than me asking her for like live organs from the hospital for reference. And I'm not kidding when I say that. What was it? Last week's Thursday stream has to probably be my most incriminating stream yet. It involves me like, because I was talking about, like, the Organicopia, the ink piece, and I was like, it was really hard to find, like, actual, like, live reference for it. And the best part about me looking up live reference, again, is just, like, just going on the Google search tab. But it's really funny, like, having to ask my mom, like, Mom, do you think if I ask, the hospital will just let me, like, borrow some organs from them? And she's like, no! So it's the fact that me asking for live organs somehow isn't nearly as bad as me asking for needles in my mom's point of view. That's funny to me. It's like, oh yeah, Kyra would absolutely ask to see like some human organs, but needles, now we gotta start asking questions. Did you genuinely ask that? Yes. We were in the car on the way to another city to get food for dinner. And I was like, Mom, do you think if I asked the hospital if I could just, like, borrow some organs, and, like, pose them, do you think they would let me? And she's like, no! No, they won't. And I'm just like, okay. Okay, Mom. Okay. Yes, I did genuinely ask that. Thankfully, my parents are used to my antics, but that does not mean that they are, like, amused by them sometimes. But once again, it's the... You just need a spleen. That's not too bad, right? Okay, well, let's see. The cornucopia itself consisted of a liver, a brain, a heart, 2 kidneys, and a stomach. I think the gallbladder is on the back of the liver, yeah, so I guess that would have also been attached to that. Or maybe that was the spleen. It's one of the two. Anyways, once again, just the idea that it's easier for me to ask for human organs from my mom than it is for me to ask for needles is just extremely funny to me. I see like 15 problems. Yeah, because like, look, if your artist child asks for organs, like, I feel like the reasonable assumption is like, oh, maybe it's just for like a thing, right? But then like as soon as that child starts asking for like needles, it's like, okay, what have you gotten yourself into? So I guess to that conclusion, it is better to ask your parents for human body parts than it is for drugs. I think that is the proper conclusion here. Yes. God. This is one of these days I'm gonna get like interrogated by the police and it's like, what is this footage of you talking about like human organs and making bombs and everything? Because I kid you not, I was thinking about it today. It's like, it must be really easy to make a bomb, huh? Like, if there's so many people who know how to make bombs, but like they don't even like need to look it up online, it must be easy, right? It's like, you can, because I think this is gonna get me taken out. I don't think it will. It's just me speculating, right? If you think about it, most of the damage from the bombs isn't necessarily from the explosion or the force of the explosion. A lot of it does actually come from the shrapnel. So you don't even need to make like a particularly strong... Well, if you get arrested, it was nice knowing you. There's just like PNG tuber debut next day. My channel is like banned for encouraging like acts of terrorism. Okay, I'm just saying. Okay, right? Like hear me out. There's no way it's that hard to build a bomb. Like, there's no way. Because if you can't find tutorials online, then people gotta go like elsewhere, or they gotta work it out themselves. And I think a lot of people can actually work it out themselves if they just think it through hard enough. Because if you think about it, a lot of the damage from the bomb isn't necessarily from the explosion, but the shrapnel, right? I'll send you a voice message so that you can at least hear my German accent before you depart, Lamau. With my one phone call from jail. Just so I can hear some Batson's German accent. Perfect! But, if it's the shrapnel that's, like, the biggest damaging factor, then realistically, you could literally take, like, a bunch of wood splinters, scrap pieces of metal, maybe even, like, paper clips and everything, right? Shove that all into, like, one, like, high-pressure package, and you just gotta find a way to release all of that pressure so that everything goes flying outwards, essentially, right? Like, I might not understand physics all that well. I might not understand chemistry all that well. But I do understand that shrapnel is pretty bad. So just, in my head, it's like, if you just... all it needs, then, is a way to, like, detonate properly, right? And I think there's, like, plenty of ways that you can do that. I'm sure if you got, like, some sort of kitchen timer, and then, like, you found a way, to, like, do some, like... Not even, like, programming necessarily. I'm sure you could do, like, a whole, like, Rube Goldberg thing, and, get the bomb to detonate when that kitchen timer goes off. Like, once again, I don't think it's that hard to build a bomb, realistically. Now that being said, I'm not saying to go out there and try this for yourself, because all of this is hypothetical and in Minecraft. I'm just saying, it's probably not that hard. This is gonna be the stream that does it for me, is it? Man. The talk of, like, building bombs and the, constant, like, cannibalism, like we're always just like, somehow in the stream, there needs to be, like, a stream bingo card. Like, Kurt just barely, is just, like, one topic away from cannibalism. Bingo card thing. You are getting close to a Twitch vacation. I'm just saying, okay? I am speaking my piece here. It's not my fault, it's not my fault the world made bombs easy to make. And it's not my fault, and it's not my fault that, cannibalism, kinda hot. Not gonna lie. Let's see. I think our mushrooms are looking good. Let me stop talking about all of this. Look, if the OnlyFans people can get away with it, I'm sure I can get away with it, right? I think the mushrooms are looking pretty good, though, at the end of the day. Like, those are some mushy boys. Look at that. Oh, I still have this second cluster to do. God freaking damn it. I think that Twitch meta was absolutely hilarious. If you want my opinion on it, I'm not saying that they should just allow it straight up on Twitch, but they should just make, like, a separate thing. Like, hey, you actually want to do this? Here you go. Like, here's an actual pornographic site where you can, like... Because here's the thing, right? It's like... All it is just, you just need to give adults space to be adults, right? But they do look good, yeah. The mushrooms definitely look good, I think. But, like, all it is, like, you just need to give adults space to be adults, right? And, like, I understand the whole, like, oh, but kids watch streams too. Then make it so, like, you actually have to be, like, 18 to, like, get in there. Like, you can only get an account if you, like, verify with, like, an ID or something like that. Like, I think that's reasonable. I think that's reasonable. And then we can have as many booty streams as we want. Not that I would ever do it, but I'm just saying, because, like, they're, like, fighting hard, right? They're the whole reason why this entire problem exists is because there's no other solution. And, like, sure, there's OnlyFans, I think. I think you can do streams on there. I'm not really sure. But it's like, you could just compete with OnlyFans, you know? Let's see. I wonder how this is looking without the, obstructing stuff so far. I might add an outline there because as soon as I start rendering the hair, and adding the highlights, it might get a little bit lost in there. Here we go. So let's take this. Oops, nope. Wrong brush. I feel like Johnny would be so proud of me right now. I feel like I've been doing so much painting on stream. Like, what was it? Last stream we were painting the background for the new profile picture. You should just dig Newgrounds out of its grave and add live streaming easy. Yeah, actually, that's that's not a bad idea. Oh, hello, James. Hello. On my end, reading the chat from OBS. Your name is the same color as Sambatson, so I thought that was him for a moment. But no, it's you! Are you feeling any better today? I remember last stream was a little bit of a downer for you. I hope you're feeling better. Oh, you know what I should do? to get that better effect, I'm going to take this brush and go up like that. Here we go. Yeah, I'm better, thanks. Of course. Hope you just missed the talk about terrorism and everything. But you are just in time to watch me make some delicious mushrooms. I think oyster mushrooms are edible, right? That's why people grow them out of their Bibles. Right? I think so. Yeah, I think that's looking pretty good so far. I swear I had a dream. I do not remember it at all. Mood. Oyster mushrooms are edible. Yes, perfect. So, I am doing this right then. I would love to get some cordyceps in here, but I think cordyceps is not very much like a... It's a very not lovely mushroom in a sense, you know? And also, I don't feel like having it grow out of one of their heads. We're doing Pride art because Pride Month happened, and then I forgot to have art ready for it, and then I kept forgetting to have art ready for it. So here we are. I swear it was in the menu in the restaurant a couple weeks ago. Ah! I don't think I've ever had oyster mushrooms before, and if I did, I was not made aware that it was oyster mushrooms. I have had oysters before. Oysters are very tasty and very expensive. It's like we went to this place for Clive's birthday this year. They had like fried oysters or something. Those were delicious. They had it like come with like lemon and everything. That was great. That was actually great. I would have finished it, but I got very full. Because I was like eating everything else on the table too. I was just like, man, ouchies. Alright, and then we're just gonna add some like lumpy textures to it. I almost feel like I should try painting in real life. Like I think my digital painting is pretty good. But I do know that it's gonna be like very different, but I almost feel like I should just try it. Just see, like, am I actually this good at painting? Just to see, because I'm curious. At the same time, though, painting is expensive. That's another nice thing about ink mediums, actually. Inking is, like, really cool because, like, you kind of only need, like, a few tools at a time. And it's just like, thank God. See, I like how the way you said that was as if you were being accused of eating oyster mushrooms. Your Honor, I have not had oyster mushrooms before, and if I have, I was not made aware of it. I mean... I think the recurring joke on this channel that I keep making is, everything that I say is just going to be evidence used against me in court one day. Like I said, you just missed the terrorism talk. Where I was saying, like, oh, it must be really easy to build bombs, actually, if you can't find information online about it through normal means. Like, I'm just saying. They should have made bombs, like, less easy to build. That'd probably fix the meta. Waves, we'll just get darker stuff up there. Make more of a shadow. And then I think that is our first cluster of oyster mushrooms done. Like, I can already imagine it probably is that easy, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I can imagine the logistics of it. A timer, a fuse, and the actual explosive. And it's not even, like, the actual explosive, too. I'm pretty sure, like, you can find a way to, you probably don't even need, like, any kind of, like, immolative or... you probably don't even need anything flammable. You just need, like, to build up enough pressure to send shrapnel flying outwards. Because if you ask me, I think most people agree that, shrapnel is, like, one of, like, the deadlier parts of the bomb, right? Because, like, it'll pierce you, it'll scratch you up, it'll get wedged in, places that, you probably don't want it to be wedged in. Right? So that's my logic there. It's like, you really just need something with, like, a lot of pressure and a lot of sharp, pointy objects inside of it. I mean, they practically sell bombs in the New Year's. Oh yeah, speaking of, there's this one city that we go to, we go there for the Walmart, I'm not gonna lie. And the Vietnamese restaurant they have there. It's so funny, because this year, they're like, they have like a whole thing where it's like 1,000 times no, do not do fireworks in the city. And it's like a $1,000 fine. I know those people are not gonna listen. One of my friends who like used to live there before he moved out, he was like, oh yeah, there's like, I have like 2 neighbors, they always get into like a competition with each other who can make the loudest fireworks. It's so funny. Like, the city is like so tired of it. It's like, that's not gonna stop them, you might as well just allow it. Because the thing is, too, is just, like, I don't think it's, like, that easy to catch them. Because, obviously, you don't want the police there because, like, people are just gonna get mad. And the police probably don't want to be there anyways. They probably want to spend 4th of July with their family and whatnot. And then, like, Neighborhood Watch probably isn't gonna snitch, too. Because it's like, hey, Tom across the street is gonna put on a little fireworks display for the neighborhood? Wait, how is that allowed? Don't you got buildings you need to watch out for? No? I don't really know how it works. Our parents have never, like, done, like, fireworks or anything. Probably a good thing. Me and the undiagnosed autism probably wouldn't have liked that. But, no, to my knowledge, people just be blowing things up. And, like, they don't care. They don't care the fines. You said it was in a city. Well, I mean, there's, like... The thing is there's like a neighborhood around the city, right? Because a lot of California is just suburbs. So it's like there's the shopping place, and then there's the neighborhood. And within the neighborhood, I think that's where like people are like yippee, fireworks! It's in like another city too, just like a little bit further down the freeway. Like people do not care. Like I said, people do not care. It's so funny. And the like city council is just probably just there like how do we fix this? They can't. The answer is that they can't. And you know what? I'm not that I'm like particularly fond of it, but like the idea of like people just like not giving a shit of like what the city says is really funny to me. I'm not huge on fireworks shows anymore. I think they're like very like polluting. I think they're very loud, and I just feel like I just end up feeling like bad for the animals, and just the smoke clouds that get let up just makes me kind of sad. I think what would be a good alternative is like drone light shows and stuff like that. I think that would be fun, but you know, people probably like are gonna be like, well, that's lame. Back in my day, we weren't scared of no explosives. We were lighting that stuff back like in our own backyard. And I'm like, I know, but that was then and this is now, and I've decided I don't want to hear I don't want to hear like 1,000 missiles lighting up the night sky. But you know, people are just gonna do what they do, and you know what? I'm probably gonna be working 4th of July anyways, so I don't care. I'm very excited to work 4th of July. That's time and a half, and it's probably gonna be slow. Like, easiest time and a half of my life. You'd think veterans would be against it. I think it depends. I think it depends on the veteran. I have, like, one of my dad's, like, uncles, I think. He's, like, a vet or something. He's very silly. He's like in a wheelchair already, I think. And last time I saw him, this was all in Bisaya, of course, but he's, like, saying, like they should draft me, like, you know, I'm like, if we're gonna go to war, they should like put me back on the thing. And then his wife is just there like, yeah, if they put you back on the like if they like draft you again, all they're gonna have you do is push a button. And I'm like, it's kind of true though. It's sad, but it's kind of true. But it was really funny to just like watch that exchange unfold. Yeah, that man was just like, I'll fight anyone for this country. I'm like, Sure, buddy. You do that. You do that, Grandpa. He's not really my grandpa. Let's see, what other, like, funny stories about my relatives have I got? Based, to be honest. I mean, yeah, it is really funny to watch, like, a really, really old man be like, yeah, I'll get put back on the field, and then his wife's just there, just like, you're not getting put back on the field, it's literally just all bombs now. Which is, like, kind of true, to be honest. I don't want to talk about the bombing that happened. I don't think I'm nowhere near educated enough on this topic to, like, talk about it just yet, and, I'm honestly a little scared, so I will not be refraining from further, talk about war, for the rest of stream. But that one instance with my dad's uncle was really funny. That was, like, a long time ago, though. I think this is the same aunt, actually. This aunt of his, I guess mine, my great aunt, she's apparently, like, a very, like, I don't want to say feisty, because that feels wrong to me, I don't know why, but she's very, like, anger. Or, like, she's got a lot of malice in her that she can, like, easily direct at people without problem. Not calling her a Karen, because this one time, I would argue is very justified. Hyundai used to be a very, like, shitty car company. Where they are now is a far cry from where they were, let's say, I don't know, 30, 50 years ago. I don't know the time frame for this. But this one time, she bought a new Hyundai at the dealer, and, she tries to go home, and I guess on the way home, there was, like, this incline in the road, like there was like you know how sometimes the road it'll just like go up a slope and then down a slope and everything. It was kind of like that, but the car could not make it, like, at all. Like, it could not go over things, so she drove the car back to the dealer, and she was profusely, like, yelling at them, like, this is such a shitty car, like, how could you fucking sell this to me? And probably in, like, if you can imagine, like, an angry, like, Filipino lady doing that, it was that. And honestly deserved, because, yeah, how could they make a car that doesn't, like, go over a basic, like, incline like that? So that was funny. Like, she probably scared the people so bad, like, okay, we'll give you the refund, or something like that. She's like, man, goals, honestly. Actually, I don't want to do it with that color. I'm just gonna take the other color and just lightly. Nope, that's too big. But yeah, that was a whole thing. Another I guess funny, like, relative story of mine is when we went to Philippines for the first time. It was the first, but to be fair, it was probably not the workers' fault. I mean, yeah, not the workers' fault, but definitely gave them a scare, which on what, because I think, okay, so for fast food workers, I'd argue, like, okay, they probably didn't deserve that. And I'm not saying that the workers deserve this either, but Hyundai needed a wake-up call at the time, because holy fuck, their cars were if their cars were that bad, something needed to happen. But, yeah, I remember another thing that happened, when we went to Philippines for the first time. Still have yet to go back, by the way, so this is the only time I've been to the Philippines. One of our cousins, they hadn't seen us in so long. Some of them even, like, met for, like, the first time. And they were like, so do you guys, like, what do you guys, like, eat at the dinner table? Do you guys eat, like, mashed potatoes and gravy? And we were just like, excuse me? Like, huh? Like, what is that? Like, they thought we were so whitewashed, and we were just there like, huh? Like, no, no? We eat rice, and, adobo when my dad cooks it. My dad makes, like, the pepper steak, too. There's just, like, wild thing that happened. Very, very silly, though, at the end of the day. I mean, yeah, I guess that's fair, but the thing is that, like, I don't, for one, I don't think my parents actually, like, not that they don't know how to make it, but they don't make it. Like, we just use, we eat rice here at home, and it's fine. The other thing, too, I was, like, I remember at the time, I was, like, so taken aback by that statement. But the even funnier part was hearing that, and I was like, is that what white people eat at the dinner table? Like, is that what they're doing over there? Because I don't know, honestly. Like, I've lived here my whole life, but most of my friends are, like, not white. Like, a good portion of them are Asian, even, so it's like, I only know that side still. And look, if I were to go into, like, like, somebody else's house and be like, okay, you're gonna eat dinner, I'll be like, what? Where's the jasmine rice? What did you have at the cafeteria then? Pizza. Pizza. There was also, oh my god, if we had, like, mashed potatoes and gravy at the school cafeteria, the lines would have been so long. No, we don't have that at all. It's like pizza, it's like cheap ass burritos from Miguel's Jr. and then teriyaki chicken and rice, except I'm marginally sure that the rice that they used was not jasmine rice. I'm pretty sure they used Mexican rice for their teriyaki and chicken, which I was just, like, upset by, because it was just, I just remember it, like, not being, like, the right texture, and I was like, no, there's something wrong with this. I'm glad you pulled out the moist critical impression to say pizza. I mean, I'm not wrong. I think sometimes there was chicken nuggets at the cafeteria, but at some point, I just ended up starting to bring, like, my own lunch, because the lines would be so long, and, like, you wouldn't really have, like, a lot of time to eat. And everything. I will say, the cookies at the cafeteria were really good. Like, they were these big chocolate chip cookies, and they were always, like, really, like, soft. I can have grab whatever rice I find. Rice is rice. Okay. I understand that, but have you had, like, Hispanic... I know you're in Philippines, so I'm not sure if you guys have, like, Hispanic rice over there. You did not want to use Hispanic rice for, Oh yeah, what elephant in the room, what happened to the cam? I have not. Exactly. It is not the right texture, for Asian dishes, in my opinion. Like, some people probably don't care. I care a little bit. I care enough to be like, okay, something has gone horribly awry in the universe. Yeah, so we're testing out the, Kerr PNG today. If the streams are engaging enough, this is not going to be, like, a permanent thing. It's just going to be like, hey, I don't feel like turning on the webcam today, so you're going to get this creature instead. The biblically accurate Kerr. There is something really funny saying biblically accurate. There I am with, like, horns, fangs, and pointy ears. The only thing, you know what's the best part? The only, of, like, the whole, like, do you eat, like, mashed potatoes with your food? I'm like, no. The only time I've eaten mashed potatoes with my food is when I go to, like, Jollibee. Like, that is the only time we are eating it. Isn't this more like the mythological Kerr? No, this is biblically accurate Kerr. Everyone knows that this is actually what I look like. Like, I actually look like this. The webcam that you guys see, that's actually, like, an insanely, like, it's like a really, really good filter that I use to make it look like I have a webcam on. This is actually what I look like. I do not like Jollibee mashed potatoes. I haven't had them in a while, to be honest. I like their spaghetti. Like, Jollibee spaghetti, I think, is really good. The Filipino style, like, I like the spaghetti my dad makes. I don't know what to call it, but I also like the, Filipino style. Like, it's good with, like, the hot dog pieces and, like, the cheese and the tomato sauce. It's pretty good. I'm thinking of KFC. KFC, I haven't been there in a while. Usually when I want to get like fried chicken, I'm not gonna go to Jollibee for that. I'm gonna go for Popeyes. Their service may be shitty, but their food is, not that it's worth it, but I do go there. Actually, I don't even like get the fried chicken all that much. I have what the gamers call trauma with chicken. My dad absolutely insisted that I chew on the tendons when I was little. I do not like chicken tendons at all, not in the slightest. I don't like the texture. I don't like how they feel. I think they're hard to chew. And my dad was like, "Well, you're acting like very like spoiled and entitled for that." And I'm just like, "I don't like this. I'm eating the rest of the chicken though. Can I just like ignore this one piece of the chicken that I don't like?" The answer, he did end up like not caring too much later on down the line, but it was just like, I do not like chicken tendons whatsoever, and it has like somewhat contributed to me not being a huge fan of chicken in general. I like turkey though. Not a big fan of Filipino style spaghetti myself, plus the portion size is tiny fare. Oh, did he pull out the kid? Yes, he did pull out the kids are starving line. Yes, he did. Like, I get it. It's so funny because it's like, I get it, right? Like, I don't mean to be like, to have it like come off as like ungrateful for like the things that I have here in the States. But at the same time, it's like, I'm sorry, tendons suck ass, okay? I will gladly eat the rest of the chicken. I am fine with that. It's this one part that I don't like, but it like went on for so long and it's to the point where it's like, I'm not even a huge fan of chicken anymore. I'm just gonna get like fish or like beef or something. Yay. Oh, so you'd eat the bone? Did I talk about the one time that I might have accidentally like almost did that once? So it wasn't a chicken bone. We were eating crispy pata from this one place, and like I'm trying to like chew on this piece, right? I get most of the meat off and I'm like, man, this one like chunk is so hard. But you know how with like crispy pata, it's like sometimes the skin's just like a little extra crispy, so you gotta bite down a little bit harder to like really like chew it. I thought this was that. So I'm like biting down like really hard, and I can feel it start to give, like, oh, I almost got it. And then the tiny voice in my head, like the tiny 5%, like the reasonable 5% of my brain was like, hey, have you considered that maybe you're eating a tooth? And then I stopped for a moment, and then I was like, I should probably like not get this or not eat this. So I spit it out. And I was like, I think I almost ate a bone, guys. And my mom was like, Kyra! It's a good thing I didn't break a tooth. Yeah, I'm surprised I didn't, because I was really going for it. I was really like, man, this is the hardest piece of crispy pata skin I've ever... And then I thought about it a little bit longer, and I was like, this probably isn't meat, huh? I think I ended up giving it to my dog, because I was like, yeah, he won't care that it's been in my mouth. Waste of good food. But yeah, that was a whole like funny thing that happened. Let's see, what are some other things that I've eaten that I probably shouldn't have eaten? Reminds me, interesting. There we go. Had my hair caught in my glasses for a little bit, had to fix that. I probably should save this. My grandma's gotten crispy pata with only 3 weeks in between. It's been the blandest crispy pata I've ever had. Ouch! That sucks. That is big unfortunate. Crispy pata is good. If you guys, if the rest of you in chat, if you haven't tried it before, you should try it. Fried pork has to be one of the best and oiliest concoctions on the planet. Like, she didn't actually cook it, she just bought it off of Facebook. Bruh. Leave that Facebook page a 1-star review for me, will you? back to the whole, like, conversation about, my cousins thinking me and my brothers were whitewashed. It was really funny, actually. We don't really get American food all that often, because we don't really like American food, and nowhere was this more clear than the, one time, my parents got not gonna lie, the mushrooms kind of look like pebbles, to be honest. I mean, a little bit. I probably could have, like, added some gills on one of these, but I wasn't sure. Because, this first one I'm drawing off of a reference, but the other one, I thought I would just go for it. And here we are. This one time, my, parents got a gift card for this place, like, for this steakhouse, essentially. And it was like, oh, okay, so there's, I don't know, meat here, I guess. Unfortunately, I'm, like, used to, like, the Filipino style of, like, barbecue. So the way my dad does it is, he marinates with, like, lemon and garlic and, soy sauce, and it's really good. It's really good. So, in my head, there's meat at the steakhouse. Crazy. That was basically my train of thought. Like I said, I'm not very smart. Like I said, I'm not particularly smart, and it was just really funny because, like, there's my cousins thinking I'm, like, whitewashed, and then there's me and my parents trying out this American restaurant, and all of the steak there, all of the meat that they had to sell, was some of the worst steak I have ever had the misfortune of having. Like, I don't mean to, like, joke about, like, the whole stereotype, like, oh yeah, white people, they, season their food with, nothing, right? But this is exactly what it tasted like. Like, again, I'm used to there being, like, a shit ton of, like, flavor in my steak, that flavor being very, Pinoy, in its origins, and then I come here, it's supposedly, like, this really fancy steakhouse, and I'm there like, ew, this is terrible. Why did you bring me here? So, yeah, not huge on American food. American fast food is fine, but, like, anytime they try to do anything more than that, it's not great. It was just, like, a really funny thing. And it wasn't even just me who held that sentiment. My parents are asking, like, so what'd you think of the food, Kyra? And I was like, that was the worst. I was like, that was the worst steak I have ever had. And they're like, yeah, we thought so too. I've not actually had a bad steak experience at any steakhouse. See, but, like, I don't know, maybe it was just this one, but, like, it was just, it was all just so bland, and they all, like, yeah, there was, like, different textures and everything, and, like, I guess they all tasted a little bit different, but it was, like, man, it was just, like, I was certain that they didn't even, like, season their meat. And I cook my own steaks, right? Anyways, I think that's our oyster mushrooms done. We'll just do that. Aren't you guys excited for how many plants I have to draw on this thing? This is kind of insane. Okay, let's turn the sketch back on. We're gonna draw, so next up, we need to choose a flower. Speaking of which, I had lumpia just the other day. Ooh, I love lumpia. I used to make, I think I told the story about me trying to make lumpia and then me getting mad at my dad when he decided, oh, well, what if I just didn't, like, let the lumpia soak on the napkin and absorb all the oil? Okay, I think we wanted to do an iris, right? Like, we said an iris. So, let's go here. Oh yeah, this is, like, extremely blue. Perfect! No, he didn't say my lumpia wasn't good. It was just, like, he likes it. He likes it when I make the lumpia, right? The thing was that, like, the one time, he was like, don't worry, I'll take care of frying the lumpia. And I was like, okay, Dad, you need to make sure you soak it on the napkin, even if you let it drip, because there's still a lot of oil, there's still going to be a lot of oil inside of it. And then he's like, No, you don't need to do that. So he completely ignores my advice, and later on we're sitting at the counter like, it's good, right? And I'm like, yeah, it's just a bit oily. He looks down at his food. Like, he's quiet for a little bit, and he's like, it is a bit oily, huh? And he's like, you think, Dad? This man. This man is something else sometimes, but I love him. He's hilarious. One time we were at Carl's Jr. Yeah, he ended up buying, like, instant ones that you can, like, microwave or, like, refry or something. And I was just like, I am greatly offended and I refuse to make lumpia for this man ever again. I probably will at some point, I'm just, like, really busy. But this one time, my dad's hilarious. This one time, we're at Carl's Jr., right? He likes to get the music is over. Let's choose a new mix. We'll go with this one. Man, I should really figure out why YouTube's been slow on my desktop lately. Anyway, so we're at Carl's Jr., right? And, my dad likes to order the chicken tenders there. So he gets his tenders. And thank God I'm, like, paying attention, too. Because I'm like, hey, Dad, stop, right? And he's like, huh? Right? He's like, doesn't that look raw? And it was raw. There was, like, a raw piece of the tender. So, I take it back to, like, show Johnny, like, hey, you might want to check the rest of the tenders, in the back there, because we found one that was raw. And turns out there were a couple of other ones that were raw. So, like, it seems like the rest of the tenders are fine, so we take it back to my dad so we can finish eating, right? And so, tell me why this man takes the tender with, like, the raw bits on it and starts, like, eating around it, like, picking it off. And I'm just looking at him like, are you serious? Are you serious right now, father? I can't let it go to waste. Like, if this man gets sick, I'm done. How do you check that without ruining the tender? Temperature. There's a little kitchen thermometer, you stick it into the tender and you check it and you make sure it reaches the appropriate, like, serving temperature on the inside. Because while the outside might be hot, you gotta, like, check the inside and make sure the inside is actually cooked. That's how that goes. But, man, my dad is a character sometimes, I'll tell you that much. It's, like, again, I love him, but sometimes it's like, Dad, you gotta stop this. Alright, so we're gonna choose, like, a blue color. Cease this behavior at once, father. Let's see. Irises kind of look like this. I don't think they're actually this big, but I'm also at the point where I've been painting for so long and I don't care. I'm gonna look at this drawing reference because it actually... I'm gonna look at the drawing rather than the real flower just because I can see... I can see, like, the distinction very clearly between the petals, and I think that's gonna help me a lot. So I'm not gonna lie, when I'm too lazy to put it back on the pan, I just think, well, it's probably fine. I mean, in my defense, I guess I have taken, like, a food handler's, like, license, right? So, arguably I should care. You know, it was a good thing we checked too, because again, some of them were raw. This happened, like, twice. Not specifically to my dad, but just, like, the tenders in the back were, like, a little bit too, like, undercooked. That happens when the tenders aren't, like thawed before they throw them in the fryer, I think. Usually we'll just leave them in there a bit longer, but we can't leave, or, like, we'll open them a little bit and then we'll continue to fry them. You know what, this is a terrible shape. Let me just start over. So, we're gonna do a heart first, just to get some cohesion in there, and then... There we go. And then I think that should be a good petal shape. Hello, Biba! Yeah, we're talking about my dad just casually eating raw chicken. Another time, he found like a bowl of something in the fridge. Now, granted, this was arguably very safe, but it's just really funny that my dad will be like, "Oh, what's this?" And then before anyone can answer, he'll just start eating it. And then, fortunately, me and my dad do happen to have like the same brain. This one time, I tried snail for the first time in New York, and it was really funny because I didn't know how to eat snail, so there was like this hard like little like piece on it, and I was like, well, surely all parts of it are like mostly edible, and if it's not edible, I'll find out in a moment. So I just like pop it in my mouth, and my cousin was like, no! Like, don't eat that, don't eat that. I'm like, oh, okay. I've also had microbiome and specifically checked meat for E. coli, and yeah, most of the meat local, it's E. coli. I mean, that's the I feel like that's normal though. Like, I don't care if the meat is dirty at the store. I'm gonna cook it so all the germs like die, right? Like, that's the whole point of like knowing the safe temperatures of cooking for food. Right? There's this Japanese fisherman, does a similar thing. Like, he'll be like, look at this fish that I caught out in deep waters. It's littered in parasites, but I'm gonna eat it anyways. It's just like, okay. If you say so, sir. I'm like struggling with this flower shape, actually. Holy balls. Okay, you know what? This other one looks... Yes, but I'm just saying, my laziness exceeds logic. Ah! Right, because you do happen to not care too much. I mean, it'd be like that sometimes. Let's see. I'm trying to figure out how to do this. Oh no, I'm hitting the brush hotkey, that's why. That iris kind of looks like that, right? Maybe a little bit more symmetrical. I'm like getting to the point where it's like, I just want to get to rendering already. Sob. Why did I choose to draw so many flowers? I hate my brain. Also, what was with the snail? I mean, did you find like a living snail in the salad and suck it in your... No, it was like prepared snails at like a Chinese restaurant, right? Like, so like we were meant to eat this. The thing was, okay, I don't know if you've had snail before, but there's like this little flat hard plate inside the shell. Because I think what it was, we had to get like a toothpick or something to like scoop the snail out of the shell. But like inside that shell, there was also like the this plate of sorts. I don't really know what it is, or what it's called, or how else to describe it. But I had eaten, like, I think the rest of the snail, and I was like, oh, well, there's a little chip in here, too. So I put it in my mouth, and I was like, surely this is edible. It turns out I'm not supposed to eat that. But it's like the same thing with, like, shrimp shells, too, in a sense. Like, well, maybe not the exact same thing. But it's really funny, like, some people's reaction to people just eating, like, straight up shrimp shells. One of my friends, it's like, man, the shrimp shell is so hard to peel. We were at a Korean, why not? I think it might have just been, like, part of the shell. Like, maybe it just wouldn't have digested all that well, or maybe, like, I don't know, point being, I wasn't supposed to eat it. This flower is not going well. Okay, you know what? We're going to decrease the size of the petals. We're gonna go something like that. What was I saying? Dear friend, what? Yeah, my friend was like, man, it's like so hard to peel shrimp sometimes, and me and one of my Asian friends were just there like, we're just there, just putting the shrimp with the entire shell in our mouth and just chewing that, and she's looking at us like, huh? Huh? And we're just there, like, just chewing, right? Not saying anything. Like, yeah, you can eat shrimp shell. She's like, I don't know. She's like, I don't think you're supposed to do that. It's like, no, it's fine. You can't eat it. Don't worry. If you don't want to, you don't have to, but we are saying you can eat it. She looked so concerned, but it is true. You can literally just eat the shell. And if anything, it's actually better to cook the shell with the shrimp on. The shrimp with the shell on. Because, you know, if you, like, let it cook without it, all the juices are going to escape, and then your shrimp will be sad and bland. And then your dad will yell at you like, how could you mess this up? I think my story of that might be a little worse. Alright, who did you, how should I say this? Who did you, mentally torment, using shrimp? Yeah, this is a good, shape, actually. In fact, it's so good, I think I'm just going to copy and paste it. I had a classmate whose parents would give them tempura for lunch. Alright, good old tempura shrimp one. I got a story about that one, too. I'll just flip these around. So I would ask for the tail. Ah, the classic. I think of all the parts that my parents would get upset at me for eating for, it was probably the tail. So he'd give it, so I ate that shell and all. Oh boy. And that's when he said, I mean, I don't think eating the tail is, like, that bad, honestly, because I eat the tail, too, personally. Because it's like, oh, well, it's part of the shrimp. Clearly, we're supposed to eat it. Apparently my parents are like, no, Kyra, that's, like, the one part of the shrimp you're not supposed to eat. I still eat it, because it's like, oh, what's it gonna do? Kill me? The answer is, perhaps, if I'm not careful. If I'm stupid, but, you know, that's me every day, so. Not that that really changes much. Here we go. I have quite a lot of flowers to go through. It's a good thing I have, like, a different, it's a good thing I have, like, a different art post that I'm gonna, like, have ready for tomorrow, for, Thursday, actually. Tomorrow is gonna be bass playing. I've never played my bass on stream. I'm almost tempted to right now. But I'm not gonna do that because it's big and clunky. Let's see. Then we just draw these little, like, yellow dots. I'm gonna put my stabilizer back on. Eating the tail as God intended. I mean, yeah, exactly. Also, there's a way to cook shrimp without shell just while still retaining its juiciness. Good to know. I know there's, like, some dishes where it's, like, it's better if you leave the shell on, it's better if you leave the shell off, but, like, I know that's what my dad told me, so I'm just here, like, shell. And I will not complain about eating the shell at all. That's extra nutrients, probably. Probably not. These kind of look like spiders. Like these irises. It almost gives me an idea. I don't want to do it because I do have crippling arachnophobia, but I do. I am thinking about it. I sear my shrimp for spaghetti. Oh, that sounds so good. That sounds delicious. Is it like when you do that? Is it like a creamier pasta, or is it like still very much spaghetti? Let's see, how am I gonna do this? So, oops, it's not my acrylic brush. Depends on my mood. I see, I see. That's interesting. I've never tried that before. Well, I've had shrimp in, like, different kinds of pastas before, like, not spaghetti. But I've never had it with spaghetti. So, maybe one day I'll piss off, like, the Italians at the local Fazoli's and be like, can I... I'm not gonna do that. Last time I did, I had some leftover cream, so, ooh, tasty. I think that is, like, generally, like, how, that usually goes. Like, it's usually with, like, a creamier, white-looking sauce. I don't know what it's called, because I don't cook pasta at home. But it's that. Man, this is really looking like a spider, huh? I'm, like, looking at it like, this is so bad. Carbonara? You could say literally anything to me right now, and I'd probably be like, yeah, maybe. Oops, because I don't know. I only know how to cook, like, a few things. One time, oh yeah, I had a story about something else. Let me look up. No, it's mainly tomato sauce. Interesting. I might have to try that. There was a chat that I wanted to, like, respond to. It's okay. But I had cream, so I had cream. Hell yeah. Anyways, I guess on the arachnophobia topic, on Friday there was a little spider in the store. Not enough for me to, like, jump, it was, like, really small, like a little baby spider, right? And I was like, oh, right? So I did, you know, the thing is that I didn't want it to, like, stay in the restaurant, because there was a lot of foot traffic in the restaurant, so I wanted to take it outside. Now, the spider isn't necessarily big enough for me to be scared of it, and be like, ah, no, get it away from me, it's so creepy, and it's, like, moving weird and everything. Like, it wasn't like that, right? I don't know how to describe my arachnophobia other than, like, sometimes it's me who's scared of the spider, sometimes it's the unconscious part of me that's scared of the spider. So I'm, like, trying to get it onto the receipt, like, paper, like, come on, please get onto the thing, right? And, it like, the moment it starts crawling onto the paper, like, on instinct, not instinct, but, like, involuntarily, that's the word I'm looking for. Involuntarily, my arm just, like, jerks back, and I'm like, I can't do it, I can't do it, I can't do it. It's like, I want to do it, I'm definitely not scared of it, but my body is, unfortunately. So it had that reaction. My coworker's like, are you good? And I'm like, yeah, I'm just trying to take out the spider. He's like, you want me to do it? I'm like, yeah, I can't do it. It sucks. I love spiders so much, but I'm like, it's so sad how, like, scared of them I end up, like, becoming. This is speaking of, actually, to stay on the topic of spiders, I actually did have a dream about a jumping spider last night. It was weird. It was like, we were there at, like, a park with, like, relatives and everything, and this one niece and her aunt, I don't even know if these people exist in real life, they were like, there was, like, a jumping spider, right? But, like, the jumping spider, like, and I was like, oh no, it's gonna scare the little girl, right? But it jumps onto the thing, and the girl's like, oh my god, this spider is, like, so cute, can we keep it? And, like, the spider is, like, actually super affectionate, because I am aware that jumping spiders are pretty, they're pretty chill like that. And and the mom was like asking me like, oh, do you have any advice on keeping spiders for a pet? And I was like, well, I don't really know too much about jumping spiders specifically, but I do know typically you want like an enclosure of sorts with like substrate so a spider can burrow. But the thing is that relatively smarter than other spiders. Yeah, they're really cool. They're probably the spider that I'm least scared of. To the point where it's like I genuinely want one as a pet, but I would feel bad. Now, this is not actual advice for taking care of a, what's it called? Of a jumping spider. This is just what a Dream Me came up with. It's like you want an enclosure with like substrate, and because jumping spiders are a little bit more arboreal than terrestrial spiders, you're gonna want to make sure like it's a really tall enclosure so it's got a lot of space to climb. In actuality, you don't, well, you can keep your jumping spider in an enclosure, but the thing with jumping spiders is that they're very active, is the thing. I mean, they never bite. Oh, they don't? I would imagine, like, one would get, like pissed enough and be like, you know what? Fuck you! And they, like, sink their fangs into you and they'd be like, no! Why would you do that? Point being, I'm not saying you can't keep a jumping spider in an enclosure. I think there's, like, plenty of, like, people who do that. But, like, they do, like, they're hunters. Like, they are actually hunters. So they do, like, go around, like, a lot. Which is, like, super important. So it's, like, very important that I think not only that they have, like, the space to go up, but they have the space to go, like, side to side. So they just need, despite their size, they need huge, like, enclosures. I've played with spiders ever since I was a kid, and jumping spiders were the least intimidating ones, yeah. Yeah, I love jumping spiders. If I could get one, if I could have one as a pet, that would be great. That would be so good for my arachnophobia. I'm doing my best to try and get over it, because it's really annoying to deal with, right? It sucks that I am a full-grown woman, and I will, crumple at the sight of a spider. So I do want to work on it. And it has gotten a lot better. I'm not, like, super, like, flinchy around them most of the time anymore. But I will say, not too long ago, I was on the floor playing with Butters, and out of the corner of my eye, I saw, like, a big spider moving on the, crawling on the floor. Kind of, not next to me, but near-ish enough, and that set me back so much progress, and I was just like, no! You should get a peacock jumping spider. I would, but I do kind of care about the fact that, peacock spider habitat. I do kind of care about the fact that, you know, I don't really want to move animals out of, like, their natural habitat. So, subtropical, southwest, or southeast. Peacock spiders have only been found in Australia. Stuff like that. So, you know, they're not really here in the States, but I think one that I think would be better suited, that's why you buy from a breeder. No, it's like, I don't want to move it here in California. I think that'd be mean. But I think I would like a bold jumping spider. It's called a bold jumper. That is so cute. I love these guys, because they're just, I mean, a local breeder. I mean, even still. There's a whole thing about, like, invasive species as a problem already. Where is my display capture? There we go. I probably should have said arachnophobia warning. Arachnophobia warning! Or like arachnophobia notice. I love these guys. They're big. They are the biggest species of jumping spider, I think. And they have these beautiful iridescent fangs. They got this black and white pattern on them. They're so cute. They're so cute. I would take this guy. I should stop scrolling. Ah! But yeah, they're insanely cute. I love jumping spiders to death. I saw a bold jumping spider once on my car, and I just remember being like so fascinated by it. I was just like, this is the coolest thing I have ever seen. I was very happy. Man, these irises really look like, spiders, don't they, with the, yellow dots? I mean, I think the piece is coming together for the most part. What's better than two druids kissing? Plus, I mean, when it comes to habitat, it isn't really that big. Like, you get like a 2-gallon fish tank and that should suffice. I mean, that's true, that's true. I think I would also just be scared of like, escaping, and I'll be, like, so sad. So I think just having, like, the bigger spider, too, just so I could, like, better keep an eye on it, in a sense. I think that would just be better. Yeah. I have considered getting a tarantula, too, but I think that would actually, like, send me to heaven. Because the other thing, too, you do have to clean the enclosures. Occasionally, and it's just like, I don't want to. Like, again, it sucks because I love spiders. I think they're so cool. But I can only love them at a distance. I'm just gonna try and get, like, a little bit of depth going on there. It's not that I'm scared, trust me. I think I'm calling it a day. I trust you, Kira. Thank you for the stream. It's pleasant as always. Thank you so much, Kira, for coming around. We're gonna be on for 30 minutes longer anyway, so it's not too much you're gonna be missing out on. When I was a kid, there was a giant black tarantula that found itself in my grandma's home. This is really. Did it also happen? That's interesting because I'm only aware of one species of tarantula that lives in Philippines, and that is the Philippine tangerine. Because of course it had to rhyme like that. But I think maybe I just imagined that it was probably just a huntsman. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was probably that. I don't think I don't know if huntsman spiders live here in California. But they're freaky. They look whack. And I think they're like really fast too. But the thing is I think they're also like particularly good at like hunting bugs. So, you know, if I found one, I'd be like, maybe I'll be fine leaving this one alone and it'll like kill all the mosquitoes for me. Poor Clive, a mosquito like bit him on the lip like a bit ago, and that would have been my villain origin story. But honestly, I would argue not as bad as that one time Johnny got bit by a bug. I don't remember if it was a mosquito for sure. But it was, like, some kind of bug bite. He got bit on his, on both his eyelids. Which is crazy to me. It's just like, what are the odds of that happening? Like, he woke up and his eyes were so swollen. It was just like, huh? Like, what happened? Like, I was a child and I thought it was the size of my hands. So it was probably a huntsman. Yeah, it was probably a huntsman. Huntsman spiders are, like, again, they're just... They're, like, freaky to me. The only tarantula species I'm aware of that lives in Philippines is the Philippine tangerine. I don't know if you've seen this goober around. Tangerine. Tarantula. He's so orange. Probably not. I mean, you'll know it when you see it. I'm a city boy. I see. So that narrows down your location. I'm kidding. I don't even know, like, Philippines all that well. But yeah, these guys, they're very orange. They're very big. They're very, defensive too, I should say, I think. Like, they will, like, rear up and be like, hiss! Boo! Get away from me! I should stop looking at this. They kind of look like crabs. Tarantulas, like, I think sometimes the carapace of a tarantula really looks like a crab. And I'm just like, ooh, hairy crab. I'm not opposed to a meetup if you go to a local event. If. But yeah. There are some, like, crazy, I'm not too scared of the way a tarantula looks, but I think the huntsman spider, particularly. Like, what is that? Like, why are your legs so long? Why are you so big? Why are you so thick, too? Like, actually looks like a xenomorph baby. Huntsmans are freaky, yeah. Biggest huntsman spider in Australia, and this man's just holding it. And if there's any spider, though, that I think is, like, takes the cake for like the weirdest looking spider. It's gonna be the ogre face. Like, what is that? Look at those peepers. How about, like, actually dangerous spider? Like, are you more afraid of black widows than a huntsman? Hard to say. I'm fairly familiar with... Oh my god, these are so weird. I'm fairly familiar with, black widows because, what is it? My dad would find them in the garage and then he'll try to keep them as pets. So, I'm like, very familiar with them. I think I'd definitely just be like, out of reason, like, I would be scared of the huntsman for the size, but I'd be terrified of the black widow just for the fact that I know it's, like, extremely, like, it's, like, pretty toxic. Or venomous, I think. And then, wolf spiders will just... Or just like another one where I'm just like, ugh. Just because like they will have all their young on the back, and it looks freaky too. Like it's not a pretty thing to look at. It's cute. It's cute that spiders like to cuddle like that. Don't get me wrong, but the one time I saw a wolf spider in real life, that was like, it's like, it was like arachnophobia and trypophobia at the same time. It was bad. It wasn't even in the house, it was just on the street. I don't think we ended up moving it. I think it like walked off on its own or something. I was just like, man, that thing was like it looks weird, it looks freaky, and it's like, I don't like looking at this that much. Can we stop? Alright, and then hear me out. I'm just gonna copy this. Make it clip again, and then... Look at that. Me and my stupid little art tricks. As soon as I remember which way this is supposed to face. Ah! Look at that. It's almost like we probably should have been doing this the whole time. Okay, if my head was in a box, and on one end there's a tangerine, and on the other end there's a black widow, but you only had enough time to cover one portion, which would it be? The black widow. The black widow, because, thankfully I do actually enjoy, I guess, zoology and biology to a certain extent on YouTube, so I am, like, somewhat knowledgeable on these kinds of things, so I am aware that, like, tarantulas are defensive because, right, at the end of the day, they're still really small, they're still prey creatures at the end of the day, they're defensive, and they won't usually charge at someone, is what I'm trying to get at. The Black Widow, however, I think they might have a temper. They might, and I also feel like the Black Widows that died in my dad's care, not that he was particularly bad at taking care of them, it's just that he couldn't, we weren't really allowed to take them inside when it got to winter. I think those Black Widows would come back and, haunt me, for my dad, doing that to them. Again, not that he abused them or anything, he did give them flies, he did give them water, it's just we weren't allowed to, like, bring them inside, and they ended up dying outside. I think it'd be easy to bite the Black Widow in half. Yeah, but the tarantulas don't usually charge is the thing. They're defensive creatures, right? So, like, I feel like the odds of, like, the tarantula having issue with me versus the Black Widow being like, I can ruin your life right now. I think it's very, I think my chances with the tarantula are better, hilariously enough. Have you ever seen that thing that tarantulas do? It's called, like, stripulating, where they have their, it's like they rub their fangs together or something, and it creates, like, a hissing noise. It is freaky. It's pretty cool. It's cool to see, like, oh yeah, the Minecraft spiders. That's probably what they're doing. So I think that bit is like cool, but yeah, it definitely is just like really funny to see. One time there was a 10-lined. Other bugs can do this too. I will pull up the bug in just a moment as soon as I line up the everything here. And it's a good thing we found a shortcut for this. Imagine if we had to do this over and over and over again for each of them. Anyways. Not in person yet. So other bugs can do this too. And during the summer, or towards the end of summer, I usually see a lot of these bugs called 10-lined June beetles. And one time me and Johnny, we were in the dog park, and as we were walking around, we saw one of these guys. These guys are really pretty. And we thought it was dead, so we tried poking it, and it started hissing at us, and I was like Johnny was like, oh, what's it doing? And I was like, oh, that's the thing that bugs do when they feel threatened. It's called strepulating. And he's like, it's called what now? But I thought that was cool. I forgot how to tell the difference between male and female, but I know for them it's like fairly easy. I think this is the male. Hedgehogs also do it. That's hilarious. And then the ones without like all the antlers and everything like this would be a female. I don't really remember all that well, but I know like they're like it's very easy because it's very obvious for them in particular. Hedgehogs also do it. I think that's hilarious. I don't know if I've ever seen a hedgehog in person. They're very, but I'm aware that they're very silly looking. One of the only things I can think of when I'm imagining a hedgehog, it was like the hedgehog going in for an X-ray. This is gonna be one of the dumbest. It's so funny. They hiss when they feel threatened. I mean, yeah, but I feel like when an animal has a mouth like that, I feel like it's easier for them to hiss. They also pretend to bite. That's kind of funny. Yeah, they're like kind of mostly fat. This is one of the only images I can think of about the about hedgehogs. It's such a funny thing. Like, oh my god. What are you doing to him? He's just going in for an X-ray, but like just the image of him, like his tummy to the sky and his face just like pointing up like that. It's so funny. Yeah. Hilarious. I think hedgehogs are very silly. What are they feeding it? I don't know. I just remember this was like a popular image going around the internet for a little bit. I don't think it's worth rendering these little bits in here, but I might be swayed. We'll see. The internet is a funny place. That is all. I love the internet because it's like there are so many things that you won't normally get to like see or imagine, but then it'll be like, hey, have you ever considered like what this looks like this? And then they just show you and it's like that is the funniest thing I've ever seen. I guess like to stay on the arachnophobe, the tarantula topic. Have you guys seen a tarantula molt? And I mean specifically a tarantula, because I feel like it's a little bit more visible on them than it is other smaller spiders. So like, I have. It's so strange. Funny enough, hedgehogs will bite when they're curious and fake bite when they feel threatened. That is great. Random Facebook vid. Yeah, that makes sense. It's weird watching tarantulas molt, because it's like, they're on their back, right? And they're like pushing their molt off of themselves. But the way they do it, they're like sticking their legs in the air. So it kind of just looks like someone trying to take off their pants while lying down. And honestly, that's probably like the most relatable thing a spider has ever done. Well, aside from Wave. I love jumping spiders asking for uppies, like, wait, what? And they're also doing a funny dance, like a little shimmy. What do you mean? Like, wait, what? I feel like what I said makes enough sense. That's like the most like relatable thing a spider's ever done. Try to take pants off while they're lying down. Relatable. I mean, come on. You can't lie to me and say like you just haven't been like you come home, you're in your outside clothes, but you lie down anyways. And it's like, man, I should probably take off my pants, but you don't feel like getting up, so you do that anyways. I haven't done it in a while. But like I feel like that's the general like sort of like reason for doing such a thing, right? Like, right? I haven't done that since I was 5. I mean, yeah, but point being, we've done it. And clearly the spiders have done it too. Here, real quick, I'm just gonna take the smudge and like fill in this little bit right here. Just pull that back. There we go. And what layer was I on? This one, right? Yes. Imagine if humans had to... Well, what they're doing is taking off their skin. Imagine if humans had to do that. Interesting that you would say that, because I feel like I've had this conversation a few times, just randomly online. Allow me to introduce you to, one of, the Baldur's Gate... How do I spell his name? There it is. Allow me to introduce you to one of the, famous Baldur's Gate 3, I wish we could romance this man, characters. His name is Karnus. He is what is known as a Drider. Trying to find, like, a good view of it. You'd think that, Baldur's Gate 3 would trigger my arachnophobia terribly, but somehow it doesn't. Yeah, I should just look up, like, a Drider, right? There we go. Okay. So, on the topic of imagine if humans had to do that. Question. How does it romance? It does not. The Karnus is not a romanceable character. In fact, I'm marginally sure you have the option to tell him to kill himself. And he will kill himself if you succeed on the persuasion check. Anyways, on the topic of imagine if humans had to take off their skin the same way that spiders do, because we do technically take off our skin. It's just automatic for us. Do you think Driders have to take off their skin? Like, do you think they molt? And, like, if they molt, how much of it is, like, the spider and how much of it is the person? Oh, there's a phase Drider stat block. Oh, that is cool. I feel like I need to use that somewhere. Maybe only the spider part. Alright. Better question then. How does it look when a Drider has to molt? Like, do you think they like gotta like get on their back and they gotta like kick it off and then like they have to ask their buddy like, hey, help me up, please. The reason why spiders molt is quite different from why we molt. I understand that. But I must point out that we do technically take off our skin every 2 weeks, I believe. We just don't like physically do it. It's just automatic. Yeah. How do you think Driders wear pants? It's like, maybe it is only the spider part that molts. But, like, that's gotta be, like, interesting then, right? Because, like, you're gonna have to, like, get up like that. And then... Not only that, but, like, you're gonna be, like, mad vulnerable. Maybe they have, like, molt services. That would make for, like, an interesting campaign. Idea. See, this is why I love the internet. This is why I love chat. I come here and I get, like, good one-shot ideas. I have like talked about like tieflings, like they shed their horns every so often. If you've ever seen moose do it. Shedding their velvet. I like to imagine that tieflings go through a similar process and their horns will just be covered in like blood and peeling and everything. And then there's just like fresh horn underneath. But that being said, I do need to do like a research on how different horns and antlers actually work, because I don't actually know how they all work, and it's kind of tough for me to say like, oh, they're all bone, but then like you can like just it'll like take off and they grow continuously throughout their life, and yada 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 yada. Reminds me of a manga I've been reading about this girl who grows horns one day. Oh man, I wish that was me. I was at the Ren Fair. I was like telling my friends like I would love if I could just get horns grafted onto my skull. The only issue is that I have commitment issues when it comes to anything permanent. I like being able to change things daily, as I like, and I wouldn't want permanent horns. I just wish I had horns that like I could change out every single day. I'd be like, today I'm gonna wear these horns, but tomorrow I'm gonna wear these horns. Then she finds out she's half dragon. That's so cool. That's that. Still, okay, point being, I would love horns. And it's a really sweet slice of life on how she deals with it while trying to fit into society. That's really cute. That's a really good one. That's a really good spin on the whole, like, fantasy thing. Man, I would love to have Rotary Dragon if you're interested. I'm not huge on manga or anime, actually. You'd think I would be, considering the character over here. Turns out I'm just not super interested, but this one sounds like so cute. I'm just like, oh, maybe. Perhaps. Okay, I should probably remember that I gotta like record TikTok content too, because I told myself I would. Let's see. Art hasn't been doing all too hot on social accounts lately. Not sure what's been going on with the algorithm there, but you know what, maybe that's just how it goes. Kind of just another art form in my eyes, not separate from paintings and my mood. I just said eyes twice. Huge mood. I'd be doing that sometimes if I'm not paying attention to what I'm typing. No, it's not. It's not like me from like a art snob kind of like perspective or anything. Like, understand it's like another art form, right? And it's an art form that I visually enjoy a lot, right? Like, visually, I love the anime art style. I love the manga art style. Narratively, sometimes it's like very hit or miss for me. Like, I read webcomics on Tapastic. So many of the webcomics will be like some ridiculous like title, like, oh, I married the villain's dad or something like that, and it's like, what? Or I was or like I'm the what's another like ridiculous yeah, I don't want to pull up any real ones because I don't want to like actually like put anything in there, but like there was another one. There were like ones like oh, I'm gonna, like, I gave birth to the hero's child or whatever or something like that. It is like these ridiculous like titles that are just so like nonsensical to the point where it's like, what am I reading? So I'm not huge on that because I feel like a lot of them are like that. That being said, that isn't to say that all of them are. It's just I'm not particularly interested in like watching animes or reading mangas most of the time. That's all. Nothing wrong with people who do. It's just like it's not my cup of tea. Again, I love the art style. It's just a lot of the stories I just don't find like that appealing. I will say this one time there was this webcomic on Tapastic, and it was something like I cross-dressed to get the attention of senpai or whatever. So it's more of a genre thing than, yeah, I'd say that, but then like it continues to like it like even in like the action ones, right? It's like the level 1 baker who slayed the dragon, or like I spent 10 years grinding the same dungeon, and it's like, okay, you guys got to figure out a better naming scheme for this, because I don't mean to judge a book by its cover, but I am strongly judging by the titles here. But anyways, to go back to the cross-dressing one, that one was just ridiculous. So it's like this sophomore in high school, right? He's crushing on like a senior, and he's like, she's so pretty, she's so fine, something like that. And then he finds out, oh, she's actually a boy, right? So, and the boy is like, sorry, I'm not interested in boys, I actually like girls. And then he's like, okay, so in that case then, I'm gonna turn myself into a girl, so that way you go out with me. And this is like, and then it's like, okay, well, now we're just kind of edging into territory that's a little, how should I say, transphobic, and we don't like those here. I'm not gonna lie, those sound like really off-beaten manga. Have you seen any of the mainstream ones? Not too much, because I feel like with a lot of the mainstream ones too, a lot of them end up focusing on like more like teen protagonists, and I'm not huge on that anymore. Like I don't like stories that take place in high school anymore. I like stories that I just want the characters to be adults. I don't want them to be kids. And the animes and everything just keep doing that, and I'm just like, okay, please stop, please stop, please stop. Because the thing is that of course they're gonna have like the romance scenes, but the same as like with any like, you know, high school romance movie, sometimes they'll decide like, oh, let's get a little frisky with the scene, and it's like, nope, okay, those are 16-year-olds, I don't want to see this. It's the same thing that'll happen in like some of the mainstream animes, and they'll be like, oh, we're gonna do this. I will say, one mainstream one that I liked a lot, while I was able to remember to watch it, Dungeon Meshi. Dungeon Meshi is like was really good. I liked that they made all of the characters like very like they all had like very like funny like archetypes that they followed, and then I liked that they were all adults too. I didn't have to worry about seeing something that that was just like really uncomfortable at any given point. And it's like it's not even like there's, from where I stopped, I hadn't seen any like romance too, so it was like really nice and just refreshing to see. Good action, good world building, good food, like peak content right there. Yeah, I guess I just don't really like romance animes all that much. What are some other animes that I enjoyed watching? There was Death Parade. That one was fun. That one was really fun. I liked that one a lot. I watched Corpse Party, but Corpse Party was honestly mad boring. Osamatsu-sen was something that me and Johnny really loved watching, because that show was hilarious. So Osamatsu-sen was another really good anime, in my opinion. Other than that, I haven't really, like, watched much, to be honest. But again, that being all of that to say, still, I love the art style at the end of the day. Again, the only thing that I'm just not huge on is just like some tropes that end up popping up, like the harem trope or the yandere one isn't really like that fun to me either. So yeah, Rudy Dragon is set in high school. I wouldn't be surprised if it does get some romance at some point. I just don't care for like romance too much in stories. Like even these two right here. What is this? What layer is that on? But it's not the mushroom layer. It's the Strelitzias? It's the irises? How'd that get there? Huh? Huh? Are you guys seeing this? Huh? How'd you... Go away. Even these two, in the webcomic that I want to write, I don't want to make it like a super big ghost, basically. They do like actually try to depict high school though, thank God. There are some ones where it's like the high schoolers are so like serious and like not teenage like at all, and it's just like what? It's like if they weren't gonna act like high schoolers in the first place, why did you make them high schoolers? But anyways, yeah, even in the webcomic that I want to make, well, yes, these two, like, are endgame. I don't really want to make romance, like, a super, like, huge plot thing. If not, just for the fact that, like, I want their companionship to be, like a bigger thing here. But I think the plan... Like, they're 15 and they act 15 and look 15. Perfect! That's exactly what I want to hear. But the whole... Like, my whole thing with, like, writing these two is, like, for, like, a romance is, what I'm looking for is, I just want to show off, like, really good companionship between the two of them. And I think the way that I want the romance to go in my head anyways, out of context clip time. No! It's okay, they'll see the full context eventually. The way I want to write it, I think, is something like strangers to enemies, or strangers to friends, friends to enemies, enemies to lovers, something like that, because I have like a whole thing in my head. I just don't know how I'm gonna make it work out. And they're roommates, too. Alright, it is past 2:30 now, so we are probably going to call stream there. I wonder if Johnny is still here. Let me know if you do end up reading Rudy Dragon, by the way. I will warn you, though, I am hilariously bad at, like, reading. So we will see. Anyways, next stream is going to be Thursday. Probably won't be an art stream, actually. It is most likely going to be, we're most likely going to be working on stickers. I'll bring back the webcam for Thursday, because it'd be really boring if it was just a PNG of me, and I'm just messing with, and I'm just, like, cutting stickers, but you guys can't see the stickers. Yeah, but we're going to be doing that, so that way I can, I forgot what I was gonna say. How do people just understand? No, how do people just remember what they're supposed to say? Anyways, next stream Thursday. Loved having you all here. I can't really do the heart hands because you guys can't see it, but I do promise that they are there. Yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you guys so much for coming around. Love you all, and bye.